Minneapolis, Minnesota, riots and looting, fires, destruction, complete disorder. I'm watching it right now on World Star Hip Hop. Look at this. Look at that. I say go burn their house down. Those four officers that did this, go burn their house down. That's what I say. Make them pay. Make them pay for their murder. You know, I was listening to Eric Garner's mom. She said it reminds her of what happened to her son. You know, when Floyd was saying he couldn't breathe, they had every indication of this man was saying he was dying. You know, he was saying it repeatedly. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I mean, what do you want the man to do? You know, he's laying there dying. The man saying he can't breathe, and you got your hand in your pocket and your knee on his neck. Eventually, he's gonna die. I'm telling you. You watch the man die on camera. You just watch him expire. You see his whole life. He just loses his life on camera, and you expect this not to happen? You expect this not to happen? You think this is not going to happen when everybody has seen a man who should have had the chance for due process? See, when you have the people who are supposed to keep order cause chaos, the result is more chaos. When we pay and look for you to be the ones to keep order and you don't do that, then the result is this: disorder, chaos. Now, I'm not for rioting and looting, you know, but peaceful protest doesn't work. Hands up, don't shoot, that didn't work. The whole Michael Brown thing, that didn't work. The guy who got shot in New York for reaching for his wallet when he was about to get married, or he had just got married, then everybody wanted to go and get an orange wallet to show it wasn't a gun. Yeah, that didn't work either. Every peaceful protest we had, it just doesn't work. When you have peaceful protests and over and over and over again, and the peaceful protest has no result whatsoever, none. The police are just like, and we're gonna go do it again. Obviously, we do. We absolutely do. We need order. Oh yeah, we need. It was a white guy. None of that happened. Okay. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Since this is what you think, how about no? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because for one, everybody listens to rap music. Rap music is the number one music in the whole wide world right now. So don't be stupid. Everybody listens to rap. You mean to tell me only black people listen to rap music? White people love Lil Wayne. Where do you think his money comes from? No. Yeah. Yeah, don't come at me with stupidity, bro. We're not trying to hear that. Good morning, Lady G. Yeah, they're tearing it down. Yeah, they're tearing it down. They should have never killed the right. They should have never killed. This cop has shot three other non-white citizens. See, this cop is the epitome of bad cop. Who's living in a bubble? Me? I'm living in a bubble? I know I know you ain't talking to me telling me I'm living in a bubble. shoot, very much uncalled for. Yeah, don't say don't listen to rap music because everyone listens to rap music. It's number one music. We do need officers. I never said that we didn't. We need order. I said when the ones who are supposed to keep order cause disorder, the result pretty much is chaos. This is the result of when we expect and respect you. We pay you. You have taken an oath. You took an oath. Okay? You took an oath to keep order. You took an oath to keep the law. When you go ahead and throw that oath out the window, when you say that this person doesn't deserve due process, when you completely besmirch the law and you just take the law in your own hands and you throw the law away, then you get lawlessness. This is what you get. I don't condone this, but this is what you get. Now, look, these people who are tearing this up, this is in a nice neighborhood where they went and tore this up. This is listen, some of these buildings weren't even all the way built. Some of these buildings weren't even all the way built. These are new developments that they went and tore up. And I don't condone none of this. I don't condone it at all whatsoever. But the last time they riot, when that kid was shot, when he's talking to his grandmother in his backyard, and they came and killed him. I forgot what city that was. When they came and killed him, when they riot, they started tearing up their own area. This is not in the hood. This is not in the hood. You can tell this area is not in the hood. This is in the suburbs. I told you these young people are not going to stand for it. Look at this. This is not in the hood. This is in the suburbs. These are new development areas that these people went up to and they're tearing down. You got to understand, they know who they're upset at. They know who to look. COVID-19 just open. It closed down the whole world, and now our nation is just starting to open up, and everything is going back to terrible normal. That's what it's going back to. The police are just grabbing people and throwing them in jail. You know what I'm saying? They're just doing. It's even worse now because they need those numbers to go back up. 9,000 babies aborted every year. What are you talking? 900,000 babies aborted a year. They cool with that? I don't understand, dude. You know, I can go there with you. You're not talking to somebody who's stupid, okay? I can go there with you, but you gotta be congruent. You gotta be, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna present an argument, that's fine, but present an argument in a way that follows the conversation, so we can, like an essay. You know what I mean? You got your topic, and then you got your subtopics, and then and so the conversation can flow right. But don't be all over the place. If you want to link some information for me to look at later on and then come back live and talk to you about it, that's fine with me. I'm an educated man. I am more than happy to do that because this is in my field of education, actually. I have a degree in health administration, so statistics and all that. This is what I do. All right, because I think you're new to this channel. All right. Rap programmed your subconscious and then stuff like this. This is true. This is true. And if you've noticed any of my videos when I speak out, against the way people's, they think and the things that they do and how our women are acting in these gangs and stuff, I always link it back to rap music. You know what I'm saying? So, for one, everybody listens to rap music. But when I was coming up, I was listening to the Sugar Hill Gang. They weren't out there talking about, doing stuff to each other. They were talking about what was done to them. The Message was the number one song. So when in 90 and 91, we start hearing the change. Then you start hearing self-destruction, how we're killing each other, and you start seeing the gang violence and Snoop Doggy Dogg and all those guys, agents of the government, coming out and just making destructive music. I was done with what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? Although I do like Big, but I didn't want even want to hear music anymore. You didn't hear Paul Righteous teachers anymore because Sony and those people who owned the distribution came out and said we don't want to hear positive music, and it helped destroy the neighborhood. So I'm with you 100% on terrible music. I feel you 100%, but you got to understand this is not because of terrible music. This has nothing to do with music. This is a civil matter. This is a matter of life and death. And we're tired of seeing innocent people die. And for some of you to come on and start besmirching this man's name and he was a thug and he did this, he deserved due process. He is a human being and he did not get due process. And this is what we're upset about. So let's get that right. Let's get that right before you start calling people mobs and gang members. Just ridiculous. We need order, not corruption. Well, you need to go to the police department and tell them that. I turned the news on and they use statistics to divide us. We don't just hate for no reason, bro. The mainstream just ruined us. Music industry is controlled and always manipulates. Absolutely. But this is not a result of music. This is a result of a man being choked out on the street in broad daylight in front of everybody who was not resisting arrest, who did not resist arrest, who was calm with the police, and they murdered him. That's what this is. It's called conditioning. And yeah, actually, yeah, 100%. I feel for you too, whoever you are. I feel for you too. I'm trying to make it seem like I'm unaware, because I'm very aware. I'm very aware. You know what I'm saying? I'm very aware of what happened to us. And oh yeah, movies too. Movies are terrible too. Movies are terrible too. Everybody's got a gun in a movie. America just promotes this, but America promotes this nonsense. 100%. They promote the murder rate, more blood, and everybody's, you know what I'm saying? You're a white man. I think that police officers should be jailed for life. There's no doubt. I think they should get the death penalty myself for jail for life. But I don't understand what this has to do with race. Right? It's a civil matter. Uh, what this has to do with race last night I think was just disgraceful. No, 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 no. Okay, so let's talk about that. I'm gonna stop with you because there's a lot more comments, but I'm gonna stop with you. Start with you, the white man, because let me enlighten you on your question because this is a question you just asked. Let me read it again. You're a white man and you think the police officers should go to jail for life. Okay, fine. Let's just start there. Okay, let's just start there. There are cases where, the police and an individual get into an altercation and the police officer is shot and killed. Now, in some of those cases, the individual does go to jail for life. But also in some of those cases, those people are put on death row. So I just want to say, as far as being in jail for life, yes, that is highly possible, and we hope that happens, but it probably will not. I hope they go. I hope they get the death penalty, but they probably will not. They probably might not do a day in jail at all because they weren't even arrested. Let's just start with that. They weren't even arrested. Okay, they were just fired from their job. Now you don't understand that what this has to do with race. What this has to do with race is it's a common theme. Now, if we start looking up the numbers, we know that statistically, black people are arrested and held in prison with longer sentences more than any other race. We already know this. We can see since COVID-19 has let up and the nation has opened up, there are more black men being arrested every day, just walking down the street, sitting in their car, they're being arrested and taken away. So when you say you don't understand what this has to do with race, statistics Numbers are not lying. They'll simply show you that this has a lot to do with being a black person. Okay, so we're seeing police brutality on black people, men and women, but definitely men. We're seeing more murders of black men than any other race. So, I mean, just go and look up the numbers. And these numbers aren't held by just some random person. These held numbers are held by universities. These numbers are held by the federal government. You can look up the federal government, and they'll show you the staunch difference between races and who's being arrested and the jail sentences that they're getting and how long those sentences are. So there is a staunch difference in the disparity of between blacks and other nationalities. So when let's go to the next part of this, what this has to do last night, Luke. Okay, so it was just disrespectful or disgraceful. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time reading this. I need my glasses. It was disgraceful. You have to understand that these young people, these are young people. I'm 52 years old. They're not 52-year-olders out here doing this. These people are 20, 19. These are young adults out here doing this. That's who's doing this right here. Okay? You have to understand these are young adults out here who are doing this. And you know why? Because they don't know what else to do. They don't know what else to do. Their mothers and fathers marched in peaceful protest. It didn't work. They went to churches. They burned down our churches. Heck, they came in and shot us in the church. Okay? They went before police buildings and stood in front of police buildings. They waited on the lawyers. And you know what? Eric Garner's murderers all went free. This is the result of anger. What else do you want them to do? That's what this is. When you don't understand, you have to go and look at our immediate history. Just within the last 10 years, just look at all the time we marched, we protested, we spoke up, and look at the end results. Constantly, the same thing. We're tired of the justice system. This is the justice system does not work for us. These are young people who are saying the justice system is not for me. We need a new justice system. That's what this is. If you don't understand that, that's the problem here. This is not just to go out and have something to do. This is the system does not work. So they went to an area where they know, listen, these stores aren't owned by black people. Target, black people don't own Target. That was a Target that went up in smoke. This is a Target, okay? AutoZone, black people don't own AutoZone. Look, this is a Target. That big red ball, Target. That's a Target. Okay, so you got to understand, they went after the people who are in control. The one who has the gold is the ones who are in control. You got to understand these are young people who are upset about this. That's who burned those buildings down because they don't know what else to do. Tell us what else we should do. That's what these people are saying. We marched with our hands up. We changed our wallet. We obeyed the police. We waited for the legal system. We hired the best lawyers we could. Zimmerman is still walking the street. He's still walking the street. Tell these young people what they should do so they can feel safe when they're driving down the street. When their fathers and mothers are being accosted and killed in front of them. They shot that lady 28 times. 28 times. They came in that woman's house and shot her 28 times and then blamed it on the boyfriend. They're shooting our children. Our kids. They're shooting our kids. They're arresting 8-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and putting them in prison. No, You tell these people, you tell this new generation what they can do because this is what they have to look forward to. If you don't have a good answer, if you can't go and tell those police officers to do what the oath, yeah, and I'm gonna tell you guys something. I'm gonna tell you what the real problem is. The officers, the police system is broken. For one, the police are supposed to be voted in. They're supposed to be voted in by the people. When's the last time you voted for a police officer? Never. You never. They never asked you, should this police officer. Listen, city council, when there's a city council, somebody running for city council, somebody running for state representatives, somebody running for any office, what do? They send out flyers, they have a ballot, and they allow the people to pick who they want. They run a whole race to pick who they want. Why are we not doing this for the police officers who are in our area, who are policing us? Why do we not vote for the police officers we want to police our area? Yes, we do need police. Absolutely, because we need order. But why don't we vote for that? See, that's the way it used to be. It's back in 49 or something like that. You know what? Because these police officers don't know us. These police officers have a different agenda. The oath that they are sworn by, they're not keeping that oath. And this is what you get when you don't keep your oath. This is what you get. Those officers aren't under oath. They're not under oath. And it is clear that they're not under oath. Those officers are corporate. Those officers are hired hands. They're hired hands. They're corporate America. Those officers are hired hands. They're not the police officers that should be in our area. They're not. You don't vote for them to police your area. You have never voted for a police officer to be in your area. Not once. Not once. It is not your choice. Listen, and you, the people, are paying for this police officer to be in your area, to walk around armed and stop you, pull you out of your car and put you in jail. You're paying for this, but you didn't vote for it. How is that even constitutionally right? How? How's that right? How is that even remotely right? Why can't I vote on the police officer who's policing my area? Why do I have to live in fear of the police who are policing my area? Why is that? Why do the police ride up and down my hood and intimidate us on purpose, look hard at us, and stop us for no reason? Ask us for our driver. Listen, when a police officer stops you and asks you for your driver's license, he is supposed to tell you, he or she is supposed to tell you why you are stopped. They're not supposed to stop you and go, can I see your driver's license? They're supposed to say, do you know why I stopped you? And you go, no. And then they're supposed to tell you why you were stopped. Because this is a lawful action. If they stop you according to the law, then you have to obey the law. But if they stop you and it's not according to the law, then you're just like, I'm not doing that. Like, you're not going to investigate me. According to the law, you cannot investigate me for the reason you stopped me. If they stop you because you have a red car, you can't investigate me for that. I'm not giving you my driver's license so you can investigate me for that. No, this is an unlawful stop. You know what I'm saying? When they bring up the word or the phrase lawful order, this means it's backed up by the written law. In my case, it would be the ORC, the Ohio Revealed Code. This is why it's important to learn the law and to learn the procedure code. Because when they step outside of the law and step outside of the procedure code, now they are committing a criminal act. What this officer did and the other four was commit a criminal act. As a matter of fact, when he put his knee on his neck, that is a criminal act. That is not procedure. That is not procedure. And how I know this is because a cop said that that is not procedure. Okay? That's not. So they threw away the law. And this is what you get. You tossed the law in the garbage and said, to hell with the law. This is the result of to hell with the law. Okay? You have to understand that. This is to hell with your law. This is what you get when you say to hell with the law. When a police officer does not obey the law, this is what you get. If you're not going to obey the law and uphold the law, which you are sworn to uphold, then we're not going to obey the law either. We're going to burn down the justice system, and we're going to recreate the justice system to where the police officers should be voted in and the police officers should obey the law. But do you know how hard that's going to be? You know why that's going to be so hard? It's because of people who control the police. There are outside entities that control the police. And those outside entities do not want the police system to be burned down because it's protecting them. But when the police department protects everyone according to the law, then it is a police department that by law is for the people of the people. Right now, the corporate police is not for and of the people. Because if it was of the people, then you would be allowed to vote. For any officer that they bring in, you would be allowed to vote. The police department is not of the people. It's not. None of you have ever voted to bring a police department in. I'm going to read some of these comments. Hey, what's going on, Polo? How you doing? Criminal police need taught a lesson. We have to, yes, they do. We have to stand up tonight is going to be, well, yeah. And that's the attitude. That's the attitude. People looting don't give a damn about the poor guy. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I think, I don't think that everybody has him in mind, but yeah, I mean, people like free stuff. But this is the knee-jerk reaction of murdering innocent man in the street. So I don't think that's all true, but I don't know everybody's mind state. Yeah, they don't care. Yeah, there's some people who don't give a damn. Tonight is okay. So this Wilder person is saying tonight's gonna be even better. People looting are hurt and pissed off. Anger and frustration act 100%. I believe last night was a message to the cops. Watch all night till about 5 a.m. And the police who were gassing protesters, yes they were, ended up ducking behind cover when the 12 gun salute started. Oh, see, it's at a fever pitch. And you got to understand that this is not something that just happened out of nowhere. I mean, they've been killing innocent men, women, and children for years, just slaughtering them. We had 3 murders, 3 police murders, with just in the last 2 weeks. Just in the last 2 weeks. And I think it was more than that. We had the dude in Walmart, the female and who was shot 28 times. And I think there was another one. Yeah, there was a guy in New York. The police shot him in cold blood in front of everyone. So that's 4. I mean, just in the last couple weeks, like this is at a fever pitch. Arrest the cops, please. Then maybe it will ease. The mayor needs to get on it now. Period. Listen, if they arrest the police officers, this is not going to stop. This is not going to stop because of an arrest of the police officers. We've seen the police officers arrested before and get a slap on the wrist. No arrest is sick, man. I agree. Yeah, I mean, they haven't even arrested them yet, and I just don't get it. But for one, there's a protocol when it comes to police officers in these shootings. When police officers get in these shootings, you usually can't touch them for 30. You can't even talk to them for 30 days. That's written into some kind of weird contract. So, you know, after 30 days, they might get arrested. But hell, Eric Garner, they didn't even touch Eric Garner's people for 5 years. And they got a slap on the wrist and walked. Some people care, but they ain't out stealing beer. This is true. This is true. Not everybody is out. I wouldn't be out there looting. I just have no need to do this. Police were doing this long before music. Right. They were doing this long before music. And like you said, Tonto, we've had guns and violence in movies forever. Rifleman, Bonanza, and come on and say it. And the list goes on, and the list goes on and on and on. Some people have no money either, or nothing to lose. Can't blame them for looting. Absolutely. People are opportunists. They're going to take every opportunity they can. You talking about you shut down the whole nation and told people not to come to work, and you think they're not going to go in and steal food. Listen, you think people are stealing shoes and stuff. They didn't hit a target for no reason. These people are stealing food. They're stealing food. You shut down the nation. You shut down the whole nation. These are two women. What do you think's in this cart? Shoes? These are two women. This is a mom and daughter. Look at what she has on. Look at this woman. Let's just look at this picture. This should be on National Geographic. Look at what this woman has on right here. You think this woman is a violent person? Comes out because, they're loot? Yeah. Let's go out and cause some violence. Let's go tear up something. This is what this woman wore to tear up something. With the mom bun and the mom onesie on. This onesie, what she's got on? This onesie. Look at what they have in here. This is food, ladies and gentlemen. This is her daughter. That is food. All right? Let's get that straight. They were stealing food. You shut down the whole world and told people not to go to work. Gave them $1,200 and still told them to pay their rent and mortgage. You didn't shut down you didn't tell the banks and the financial system. You didn't tell them to stop charging these people. That ain't what you did. You told these people not to go to work. You took their money from them. You gave them $1,200 and you shut down the nation for 3-4 months. And you gave them $1,200. They're eating through their savings like this. And $1,200 is going to do exactly what? When you still paying for your mortgage. You still got mouths to feed. These people are stealing food. That is food. That is a cart full of food. Okay? I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them. They ran out of money because of you. And they went and was like, all right, well, this mom in a onesie and sandals, she's not out here burning down stuff. She was like, we need food. What do you want me to do? I don't get it. I don't get it. This is a byproduct of dysfunction in society. 100% right, Rich, right? Police be tripping 100%. Police lost their credibility in the South. They lost their credibility everywhere. They lost their credibility everywhere. Your political system is corrupt with the cops. It's not my political system, even though I used to work for it. It will never stop. No, it'll stop. It'll stop. Media owned by cops, data on us all. We're screwed. No, it'll stop. It's called a civil war. Biden's speech is pathetic. Just look, I do not pay no attention to Biden. That's right. Brother Tone, you better preach, thanks, Lady G. They have in insensitized this during right. They sure did, and people are desensitized. And when you see something happen over and over and over again, you're just like, oh, another black person shot, another black person killed. But you got to understand, there's a whole generation who are just, they're like, we're not going to sit down and let this happen to us. You got people who've been fighting for years and they're tired. Their knees and their back hurt. They done been to jail. They understand how the system is. But their children are just like, your knees are bad. You're tired. We get it. Our knees are fresh. Our back is good. We can go to jail. Let's do it. You got a whole generation of, you have a standing army is what you have. Bonus for death, go to hospital. Bonuses for deaths, go to hospital. Absolutely. There's a whole hospital system that is completely corrupt. Bonus for arrest, go to the police. Absolutely. Because this is true. It's all financial, 100%. We know that police officers. Listen, Darren Wilson killed Michael Brown, right? He killed Michael Brown. Then they fired Darren Wilson, right? And then Darren Wilson said, yo, but can I get my pension? And they said, no, you're fired. You can't get your pension. Guess how much Darren Wilson got? Guess how much he got after they told him, no, you can't get your pension? He got $250,000. You know where he got that from? The American people. A GoFundMe. He got $250,000. All money will be gone. Society, state coming. People wearing Bernie shirts. Okay, well, we expect that. We expect that. The dollar bill is depreciating every day anyway. The problem is that everybody is assuming that every cop is abusing black folks. No, 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 no. Let me read the rest of this. Every cop is abusing black folks. Nobody is emphasizing that this is like 1 in 100 cops that are bad. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. That's a good comment, John Doe. Let's do it. For one, if we assume that every cop out there was doing this, you would see a lot more chaos. That's just for one. Let's just take that. Let's just stifle that whole thing right now. You would see, as a matter of fact, there would be no order. If we thought every cop was out there killing people, there would be no order whatsoever. There would be no respect whatsoever. Like I said, there is a standing army of the people, and there are very few cops. We outnumber them by a vast, vast number, regardless of what firepower they have. And if you don't understand that, pretty soon, if this rioting keeps up, you're going to see the National Guard step out. The police department can't handle this. So to say that everybody thinks that the every police out there is a bad cop is nowhere near the truth. What they think that is the police departments are not for the people. That's what they think. But they don't think everybody out there is a bad cop. You would see a lot more cops and a lot more confrontations. You would see a lot more people and a lot more confrontations with the cops. And as a matter of fact, what you will also see is the people burn down the police stations. If we've seen cops doing this all the time and every single cop out there was bad, you would see the police station burned down. That's what you would see. So no, we do understand that there are good cops out there. Heck, we know some of them. We know there are great cops out there. We want them to be cops. But you have to understand the blue wall of silence is a big deal. Okay? There are cops out there who are good cops who won't tell on the bad cops. You know why? Because there are cops who kill cops. Okay, let's get that understood. There are cops who want the system to be corrupt. They want it to be bad. They want to be on the take. They want to do dirt. They want to hide behind their shield and do dirt behind their shield. And there are good cops who know cops are doing this dirt behind the shield. And there are lawyers and judges, and they're all in on it. 100%. They're all getting money off the people. They're getting money off of us. Okay, we know that they're doing stem cell research off of the abortion clinics. We know that Hillary Clinton or were forcing women into abortion. We know that Bill Clinton had the whole street three strikes thing that were hurting black people 100% in order to keep black people in jail, in order to keep government funding the prisons, in order to keep those stipends. We know that Vice President Dick Cheney was in control of Halliburton, and Halliburton is in control of the oil. Halliburton is also in control of the food that was going to the armies while they were invading other countries, and he's controlling the food. He's controlling the all of the products that were going over there. We know that they were forced into war so Halliburton can get more money, Dick Cheney can get more money. We know that's all a lie. You got to understand, we don't think that everybody is in on it. We just think that the system that is in place is wrong and it should be torn down. And we have called for the system to change. We have LeBron James speaking out about people dying and black men dying and worrying about his children. You had what's his name that knelt down in peaceful protests, and you seen what they did, Colin Kaepernick. You seen what they did to him. You know what I'm saying? You see how they ostracized and castigated him. So we don't think all police officers are bad. We think the system is bad. 100% the system is not for the people. And you're going to see more destruction unless the system becomes for the people. That man dying the other day was a clear it was a clear indication that the police officers who are supposed to be of the system, who we pay for to protect us, are not protecting us. That police officer was a that police officer is a poster child for a corrupt system. That's the problem. It's not the problem that that one police officer, is some, dark example to himself. No, that police officer has been doing things to people for a minute. Look, they had one police officer who was in 8 shootings. 8 shootings. Okay? No, it's the system that we're going after. And we should go after the system. So not everybody believes that all police officers are bad. Let me read on. The television, let me see, right. The television and mighty cell phones has ruined us all. Well, that's a whole 5G conversation. Burning down people's workplace is justice. You're a joke. No, you're a joke. You're a joke because these people aren't thinking about the people who work there. Not to mention, okay, let's do this. I'm a joke. You're a joke. These young people aren't thinking about the people who work there. For one, you have a whole nation that's out of work. You're a joke, wild man. You're a joke. You got a whole nation that's out of work. You got a whole nation that's sitting at home because of COVID-19. You told them to go home. And there are shining examples of other nations who didn't even do this. They didn't even have a lockdown. Look at Taiwan and what Taiwan did. Taiwan has very little cases to no cases of COVID-19. Okay? Because they closed their borders when they were supposed to. All right? And not everybody pressured the politician or the president of Taiwan, who happens to be a damn good president. She's a woman. Okay, they didn't pressure her and say, hey, open up, or, because they didn't have to. Because once she saw that COVID-19 was coming, she closed her borders. And Taiwan is doing just great. Not only that, they're out there lending thousands and thousands, hundreds and thousands to mass out to other nations. Okay, so you're a joke. You don't have no idea what you're talking to. This is not a result of young people just going crazy. This is a result of young people, the knee-jerk reaction of them seeing somebody dead in the street in broad daylight, and they know that that man should have had a chance at due process. You're the joke. Get up out of here. Corruption starts from the top. Absolutely. Burning down people's workplace. You got to be kidding me. That's not what these people are thinking about. Yes, corruption starts. Not only that, what do you want people to do? What's your suggestion? Huh? What do you suggest people do when they're seeing their fathers, mothers, and family members dead in the street? What would you do? You would have all sense and sensibility. You would be completely sane at that time. You would be a man of complete compassion when you see your father get his neck pretty much suffocated. And you would be a man, get out of here. You would be angry and you would lash out. They don't want us to have guns because they can just control how our police march over us. There is a theory to that, and I believe it's true. How could they just keep killing him, knowing that they were being killed because of the system that is in place that protects them? Like I said, you can't even talk to them for 30 days according to their rules. So when they say they're under investigation, that investigation ain't started. They haven't talked to those police officers, not to mention there are cameras everywhere. And they already caught the police in a lie. The police said the man was resisting arrest. Now, I talked about this yesterday on my live stream. The police said the man was resisting arrest, right? So, when they arrested him, for one, they said when they approached him, and he's sitting in his car, when they approached him and they said he was under the influence, what was he under the influence of? They didn't say he was under the influence of anything. They just said under the influence. That's pretty damn vague. Was he doing something illegal? Was he under the influence of alcohol? What drugs did he have? None of this is mentioned. What is he under the influence of? Okay, so they asked the man to get out his car. He gets out his car. They put him in handcuffs. Now you are under arrest. If you're fighting, if you're fighting, and while they're trying to put you in handcuffs, that is called resisting arrest. If you put your hands behind your back just as calm and then they put the handcuffs on you, you are now under arrest. All right? The man did not resist arrest, and it's shown by the video from the very store that called the police on him. So they already caught the police in a lie. Okay, they caught him in another lie when they said the man died from medical conditions. But they didn't say what medical conditions it was. No, he died of asphyxiation. That's what he died from. Medical condition. This is what the coroner said. See, they're all in on it. Like, what are you talking about? What up with you, Kevin? My brother, I'm sorry. I'm trying to field all these questions and people coming at me, and that's fine because I'm more than happy to shut them up. Uh, uh, Big COVID test. Hmm, I don't know how much of a test it is. The nation is about to open up. You know, we explored our little girls and make reality shows. Exactly. Like when will people wake the hell up? I think people are waking the hell up. I think people are waking up now. You know what I'm saying? All this fighting our women are doing and we're promoting it. All this terrible music that we're listening to and we're promoting it, calling, tearing each other down, cheat on each other, go ahead and beat each other up. We got our young boys out here running around with weapons, gunning each other down. There's just another rapper killed recently, and I'm not talking about Pop Smoke. I'm talking about the one that was just gunned down 2 days ago, a dude from Canada. It's just ridiculous. They shot like three or four people. It's just ridiculous. The people looting are selfish, using death of an innocent man to steal things for themselves. They are destroying thousands of innocent people's lives. Well, now we talked about this. I see two sides to this. I do understand your point. Some of them are selfish. This is 100% true. But let me say this. Let me say this. This target wasn't open. This target wasn't open when they went in there and did that. I'm not making an excuse for them. Now, here's what I do know. Here's what I do know. Here's what I do know. Yeah, they tore this target up and whatever they burned on fire, those people can no longer go in there and work. Yeah, that does suck. That sucks 100%. And this is why I'm not for looting. I'm not for looting 100%. But there are all kind of rationales that go into this. You know what I'm saying? You got the people who are looting just to be looting. They don't care about a man's death. This is true 100%. And then you got the people who said, well, they're looting. Well, I'm going to go ahead and loot too. Go in here and get some food since I ain't been working for the last 3 months. So you have that whole rationale. But I understand what you're saying 100%. And I'm not for the looting, not at all. Not unless it was a store owner who shot and killed, like we've seen one of these Asians do. We've seen them. I said, go loot the hell out of that store. And I'm not talking about because of the police killed somebody. I'm talking about just because they killed somebody. And we seen an Asian woman do that and get no time. Go and loot her store, tear that store down, 100%. Like these Asians fighting these black women, I'm not for that whatsoever. Don't listen. There are people who are coming in the country and thinking that black people are just the dirt, just the scum of the earth. As a matter of fact, they think this all over the world. Now, I had a run in with a guy where I went to get my brakes fixed. I went up to his office, and there's a bunch of, white mechanics working on my stuff, and they couldn't fix my car. But the owner came in, and he was Arab or something. I don't know where he was from. He came in, trying to show off his muscles and talking to them crazy and whatnot. I was like, oh, it's about to go down. Well, a black woman had her car there, and they were supposed to do a diagnostic on their engine. Well, when she came in to pick up the car, he said, "You owe me $70," and she was like, "Why?" He said, "Because I did a diagnostic on your car." And she says, "Well, can I see what you did to my car?" Which is a legitimate question. Do you have a readout of what you did and what was the results, which is what she would pay for. You know what I'm saying? Well, he pulls up this canister of liquid he said that he put on the car and it turned a different color and yada yada yada. She's like, "Well, can I see the information? Like, what exactly am I paying for? I'm not paying for you to sit a canister of liquid on the car and it changes another color." So that whole argument, and I ain't say nothing, that whole argument happened. I'm watching it and she's like, "I'm not paying for this." And I agreed with her 100% because she said in any diagnostic, you're supposed to give me a readout and tell me exactly what you did and what is the result. And I understand you're supposed to pay for that. She did not get the product that which she's supposed to pay for. So the man gets in her way. He's in between the door. She's trying to back out. He has the door open. They're sitting there arguing. I'm on the other side of the door just watching it because it's not my business until I see the man slap this woman. Now it's my business. So I jumped on this man and I told him I'll beat the hell out of him. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, he let the girl go because I said, "I'll pay the $70, but you're not going to sit here and hit this black woman in front of me." You know what I'm saying? And I think he was wrong. And the money that I was supposed to be charged, he didn't even charge me. Because I was like, okay, let me pay my bill and I'll pay her bill. And she took off. But see, they come over here and just beating us up. And no, you're not going to do that in front of me. And he trying to convince me he didn't do it. I was like, I saw you just hit this woman. I was like, I'll beat the hell out of you. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that right there. Okay. No, we not doing that. Not over here. All right, let me read. Arrest the pigs. Absolutely. The mayor needs to get out of bed. Well, they're in front of the mayor's house or the police chief's house now. They're in front of their house right now. Uh, it better stop. Vandalizing and lighting our city on fire is going to backfire on them. It's going to backfire on everyone, but they're not thinking rationally. They're not thinking rationally. Yeah, no slap. Yeah, no slaps. Convictions. There needs to be some convictions. They need to put them in jail right now. I'm glad the people of that city did that. This is horrible. It's been happening for hundreds of years. It's time for the equal rights. Time for change with cops. Cops don't need guns anymore. Come on and preach that. Come on and preach that, Elon. I wish you were Elon Musk. They need guns that stun people because they are just killing. This is true. And they have a stun gun. But even in this case, a stun gun wasn't even needed. The man was already apprehended. He was no longer a threat. You got cops who are speaking out against this and saying this is just uncalled for and you're making the job harder for us. Uh, they stealing flat screens. They're gonna steal whatever they can. When a cop shows that there's disorder and he's supposed to be the pinnacle of order, well, guess what? You're gonna have more disorder. You know what I'm saying? Violence. Say it with me. Violence breeds violence. They were trying to take the ATMs from U.S. Bank. Uh, no sugarcoating that. They were taking whatever they could, and it's not cool. Listen, I'm not for looting. I'm not a proponent of looting. I'm not trying to make an excuse for them. I'm just saying why they were looting. All right. And looting is listen, the Boston Tea Party. Okay. You guys, American history is full of this. And it's not, you guys act like black people created looting. This is what I don't get. But all of a sudden, we have an issue and we created looting. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. This is a knee jerk reaction of an injustice done to an innocent man. So, all the looting, everything is happening now is wrong. It's all wrong. It was wrong from the beginning. We're not telling you, we're not saying, oh, it's right for them to go take ATMs. What you are seeing is disorder as a result of corruption. This is not two guys who casually just wanted to steal an ATM. They know that the money that's going into the police department is coming from us. We're paying the police. We do that. Look, look, your dollar is taxed when you get it and when you spend it. Why is that? Where do those tax dollars go? Look, let's even do this. Let's even do this. The federal government said I think it's what it was, inhumane. Thank you very much. The federal government said it was inhumane to register your vehicle. Look up the law on registering your vehicle. And you tell me and I'm going to tell you now, there is no federal law, to my knowledge, for registering your vehicle. That's a state law. You don't have to register your vehicle. But if you don't, guess what's going to happen? They're going to come and tow your car. They're going to come and take your car right away because it's not registered. And they're going to tell you that you're breaking the law. I'm breaking what law? And then they're going to quote a law according to the state. But you can quote a law according to the federal government saying, I do not have to register my vehicle. Because that register money goes to the VMV, and that money helps go to wherever, usually the police department, and it helps fund the police department. I mean, just think about that. You're funding a department that has carte blanche on your life. You're funding an army, a heavy militarized army, to come in your house and shoot you 28 times. That's what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. You're funding that. And the city is behind it 100%. Look, like I said, we need police officers, but the system is broken. The system is not for the people. That's what this problem is. So people going and taking ATMs and wrecking targets and burning down, they're mad at the system. The whole system is not for us. It's not. Let me read some more of these comments. I'm trying to get through all these. I'm sorry if I missed yours. Sorry for swearing. Please don't swear, but I understand, John Doe. Rich Wright. I understand. This is passionate. They taking money for food. Probably. You shut down the whole world. You shut down the world. They need money. $1,200 wasn't going to do it. People are very poor. Absolutely. Rich Wright. Absolutely. This is violence. And you're trying to say it's not a cancer. What? That chastity? What are you talking about? I don't even know how to respond to you. It's not a cancer. I don't even know how to respond to you. For one, listen, injustice is a cancer. Okay, so Floyd was alive last week. Was there rioting? Was there burning down of stores? Was there taking ATMs? Was there looting? No. Floyd died. This was the result. This was the result. Okay? Injustice is a cancer. All right? Justifying looting, burning buildings. Here we go, John. Destroying jobs of innocent people is terrible and doesn't help your community. It makes it makes your community. Once again, I did not justify looting. I'm just telling you why they're looting. Okay, I'm not justifying anything. I'm simply telling you why it's happening. All right, so don't sit here and act like I'm promoting it. Yeah, go out and loot. No, I'm just telling you why people are looting. There's all kind of reasons. Some people don't even care and they're just like, oh, free loot. Other people are hungry and they're just like, I'm gonna steal a basket of food, a big old cart of food, and that's exactly what they did. Okay, you have a mom out there in a onesie. All right, you think this woman has is gonna go and risk committing a crime, theft, in a onesie with her daughter? You think that she just let's just go commit? No, she's hungry. She has mouths to feed. You put her out of work, and she's like, free food? I'm going to get some free food. I'm hungry. What do you want me to do? So I understand why some of the looting is happening. I understand why some of these crimes of passions are happening, but I don't condone it. But if I'm hungry and there's free food there, I'm taking it. When the government itself told me to stay home and now I don't have no money. Oh yeah, I'm taking it. When you're hungry, you steal. There it is. Yeah, and they sell them for food. Wake up. Yeah, like I don't know what to tell you. You know, they have no money. The government did this. Yeah, yeah, well, we need people like Rick. We need people to bring up different points. This is a conversation, people. This is a civil conversation. We need people who have a different frame of mind and are seeing things from a different perspective because not everybody is going to agree. But we can all agree that there needs to be a solution to this because your city could be next. They marched in my city. Your city could be next, bro. If this police corruption continues, oh, you could be the next one on TV running up in a Target. If they don't open the nation back up and let you go back to work, you think your mom's not going to be on TV? You think look, everybody's in the news now. Everybody's a first responder now. Anybody with a camera, as good as these cameras are, you're the news. You think that your mom is not going to be out in sandals and a onesie up in a Target when she needs food? She is going to be about that business. Let it happen here. I know people renting apartments more than 1,200 a month. Right. Price gouging, which is illegal. I'm lost. How many kids you have, Chastity? Okay, you're talking to somebody else. 1,200 is nothing. No riot will break out over the nation. It's just a start. And you're talking to Lady J. So you guys are talking about the rent. This is dumb person. This is a dumb person. This so I don't know if you're calling me a dumb person, but if you're calling me a dumb person, go ahead and state your case. What did I say that's dumb? Because I'm gonna make you look stupid after you do. Yeah, though, two kids and a single mom in there. Oh yeah, 100%. They're up in there. Peace, long time, born savior. How you doing? Uh, hey, like, please. Hey, like, please leave. Rich, you should leave. Don't go at it with each other. You guys should have a conversation though. It will stop when the murderers are arrested. Yes, exactly. Once again, this is a knee-jerk reaction of injustice. Don't sell systematic racism. when all the businesses leave the area and there will be no jobs or goods and services, which will leave the area in poverty, uh, become like Detroit. Okay, you know what, John Doe? Thank you for that. All right, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. So, the rioting that's happened, we've seen rioting before. We've seen cities burned down before, or department stores burned down. We've seen lootings burnt down. We've seen this all before. The question is, when all of this happened, when all of this happened, because we've seen it before, did those stores rebuild in the same area, or did those stores move? It's a good chance that those stores rebuilt in that same area. Not only that, a store like a Target is not going to spend millions of dollars for a storefront. For a storefront, okay? They're not going to spend millions and millions of dollars for a storefront if it isn't lucrative to them. Now, if rioting keeps happening, they build it up and then boom, again, the same store, build it up, boom, again, the same store, they're going to leave because they spent, not to mention they're insured. But I understand your point. If you keep terrorizing a business, that business is eventually going to leave. But show me where businesses have left an area because of rioting. Show me one area. Leave a link. Show me, because there's a good chance that that didn't happen. Because rioting doesn't happen enough. Now, if it keeps happening, 100% they're going to dip. Now, when you talk about Detroit, for one, Detroit didn't come dilapidated, and not all of Detroit is dilapidated, but Detroit didn't come dilapidated because of rioting. So there's that. Detroit became dilapidated because of Lee Iacocca, okay, and GM, all right, and all the jobs that were out there. I happened to work with some of those people because I used to work at Honda out in Marysville. So, we were in the same business, the car factory, the car manufacturing business. So I actually talked to some of those people and some of the people that came from Chicago too. You know what I'm saying? We've had a long, extensive conversation about that. So Detroit happened because of the businesses that left there that had nothing to do with rioting. It had all to do with the business just going under. And once one large business like GM went under, then you had other businesses that followed suit. Then you had people who moved out of the suburban areas because there was no more business there, and that caused the financial dilapidation of Detroit. It wasn't because of any kind of rioting or anything like that. But I do understand your point. It will be vacant 100%. But you can't show me one business, major business, not mom and pop store, major business. You can't show me one major chain that decided, you know what, we're finished because of a riot. It usually doesn't happen because you don't see a lot of rioting in the same place, statistically. All right. Uh, Systemic racism. Okay, old enough for it to try justify bad behavior by pointing to bad behavior. Uh, I've already talked about I'm not justifying bad behavior. I'm justifying why there's bad behavior. All right, don't engage with children and you have no kids. It's obvious. Please stop talking at me. Stop justifying criminal action. For all of you people who are saying that I'm justifying criminal action, I'm not justifying criminal action. I'm telling you it's a knee jerk reaction of another crime. The crime happened when the man was murdered in broad daylight. When the innocent man was murdered. This spawned other crimes. All right? Okay? I'm not justifying it. I'm just telling you what happened. Uh, he's talking when you're hungry, you steal. It is an excuse. I'm not. I'm skipping to the next thing. There is no excuse. You're right. There's no excuse. You go tell that to that mother who's been out of work for the longest time. Go tell it to her. Go tell her that COVID 19 wasn't real and now there's, food there because of an injustice done. You go talk to them about that. Tell them to stop looting. Tell them not to steal food. You go do that. You go tell those people in Minneapolis, Minnesota, hey, do not go in there and steal that food. You go do that. Cops commit 90% of violent hate crimes last year, so maybe don't play the victim so much. The true and only victim is the dead guy. 100%. Go 3 days without food. Try it. Preach it. We're not making an excuse for looting. We're saying there's different reasons why people are looting. Some people don't care about the dead man. Some people are just opportunists. Other people, their reasonability is just different from yours. It's not an excuse. It's there. It's what your reality is. I'm not making an excuse for violence and stuff like this. I don't get it. Sorry, black community. 9% of violent hate crimes. Ha ha ha. Do you? I'm not. I'm not. What percentage of cops would you say are corrupt? If that's a question to me, I've never did a statistical analysis on it, so it would just be a guess. And according to the people that are on here, if I went ahead and guessed a number, that would start a whole conversation out I would have to defend because people would take my word for, as solid truth and instead of listening to me and saying, I really don't know. So I can't even make a hypothesis on how many cops I believe are corrupt in any department, but I can tell you that the police that are departments that are doing things that are unjustified and that are not according to the written law, there is a large part of that. There are a large amount of police who don't care about your rights. They don't even think you have rights. So we're seeing a lot of that. Listen, this has been going on for the longest time. It's just now it's being recorded. This is not a new phenomenon. There are people who have lost their life and their freedom over and over and over again. And now we're seeing it all because everybody is the news. Everybody has a camera. I mean, let's look at the Ahmaud Arbery case. The Ahmaud Arbery case didn't even get any attention for 2 months. That man was dead for 2 months. But when the video showed up, thank God for that video, then everybody protested. Then everybody went. Then arrests happened. Other than that, there were no arrests. Everything was quiet, and the McMichaels were sitting in their house like, yeah, we did our thing. But the guy who filmed it, who's also arrested for murder, once that film broke, oh, it was on. So I mean, you guys got to understand that you're the media, but this stuff has been happening. Police have been doing this stuff. That's why a lot of police, when you're in the car and you're filming, the police will tell you step out the car and they'll tell you leave your camera in the car. We've also known police to turn off the. Look at those Chicago cops. They were trying to set a person up with drugs, and they were trying to plant drugs. And what did they do? They turned off their camera and then went back and planted the drugs at the person's house. But what they didn't realize was the camera still records for 30 seconds even after you turn it off. And they got caught. This stuff has been happening. Why do you think Obama said, I want everybody to have a police camera? This is why. So they can see all the things that the police are doing. So there can be a outcry and eventually a hue and cry, and there can be uh, 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 some kind of way to get rid of the bad people. And look what happened in Maryland. That one police officer and about 8 other police officers were running around falsely arresting people and doing drugs and all this. It was a crime syndicate in the police department. It was a whole crime syndicate. He had like 8 other people and he was a DT. I mean, so come on, people. Like, stop. Cut it out with the good police. And we know that there are bad police who are messing up the system. We know that there are good police who love their job and don't want to mess up the system. But we need the police who know that there's bad police out there to just come out and be like, listen, this is wrong and this needs to be fixed. And recently you had that. You had that 2 weeks ago. A police officer came out and spoke against police, saying what was wrong and saying, listen, if you don't stop arresting Americans unconstitutionally, if you don't cut this out, you're going to have a standing army against you. You're going to have Americans coming. And he was talking about white America. He was like, if we don't cut this out, we are going to be at war. And this is the words he used. He was like, we're going to be at war. He said, I've done 2 tours and I know what war looks like. And he said, you don't want that. You don't want the American people to go to war with the police. This is a cop saying this. He was fired the next day. And they said, if you don't take that down, that message you put out, if you don't take that down, you're fired. He's like, I am not taking that down. They fired him. All right, let's get this. Let's get some understanding here. National Guard has been called. Boom. There it is. I told you it was going to happen. Let me enlighten you people again on what my background is. Because I think some of you are new. So let me just enlighten you on my background. I know you guys think I'm some crazy black guy just going off, and whatnot, but I am not a crazy person. Okay? For one, my background is my degree is in health administration. Now, before you say anything, my concentration was on pandemics and epidemics. Okay, health administration is a large field, but my concentration was on pandemics and epidemics. Okay, I like to look at statistical analysis of what can happen in order so I can predict what will happen. Okay, so that's how my mindset is, or look at things that what has happened and then say, okay, this is a probability of what will happen. I am no numbers expert though, but I do like and understand statistics, even though it took me 2 classes to pass it. That's some hard stuff. College statistics is no joke, but I did. So also, I used to work for the Ohio House of Representatives. I was a legislative aide for 4 different legislators, okay? And one of them moved on to the Senate. All right, so there that is. Also, I worked for, at one point, I worked for ODJFS, which is a department of the state, okay? And there's more that goes to that, but nonetheless, I'm also a United States veteran. All right, and there's about 6 or 7 veterans in my immediate family. So it just goes to give you guys some background on who you're talking to. Okay, so whenever you say something to me that's out of line, I try to find a way to make what you're saying congruent. I try to understand where you're coming from because not everybody's gonna agree. We don't all agree. What we all agree on, for one, this is all wrong. Some people are on the police side, which I don't understand. I don't, I don't get this whatsoever. Some people think that this is a crime because black people listen to rap music, or because of just black people, and it's just like this is a civil matter. This is a human rights matter. You have to understand that police are killing white people too. There are more poor white people in this nation than there are poor black people. Let me give you some statistics on how many white people are in America. There's 245 million of you. There's 40 million black people in America. But yet black people have longer sentences. There are more white people going in and out of the jails, but there are more black people who are permanently in them. Okay? Just This is not something that just came out of nowhere. This looting and all this other stuff, this has been going on. And as a matter of fact, it wasn't even started by black people. All right? Like I said, the Boston Tea Party. For some of you young people, you need to go and look up what the Boston Tea Party was. And why now do you have a group of people on Capitol Hill calling themselves the Tea Party? They call themselves that because of the Boston Tea Party. Not to mention, if you know anything about Boston, Boston is mostly white. It's a very white place. Okay, Tom Brady? All right, it's a very, very white, uppity place. All right, going down there. Now, they have, of course, Southie, which is a white ghetto, but it's a very white place. So when you look up the Boston Tea Party, you know what? Just one of you go look up the Boston Tea Party, and then you tell me what happened. Because some of you are just thinking that, oh, black people are just out there doing, whatever. It's just like, black people aren't out there just making stuff up. This is stuff that a lot of this stuff we learned from white people. Listen, black people learn how to protest from white people. Let's just get that straight right now. You guys were protesting before black people were even in this country. All right? You guys were protesting against the Queen. You came here because of a protest. Because the Queen was hanging you. The Queen of England. You came to America because of a protest. That's how you got here. So let's cut it out with the black people are just out there doing crazy stuff and they're the criminals now and they're criminalizing everything when white people are the ones who started this. And they're the best at it. They are the freaking... Listen, in the Boston Tea Party, white people dressed up as Indians. Do you understand why blackface is so wrong? I mean, white people dressed up as Indians and started dumping tea off of the boat. They didn't dress up as white people. They didn't want white people to take the blame. They were criminalizing a whole nation, a whole race, by dressing up as someone else and then getting on the bus. They could have dressed up as clowns. They could have dressed up as uniformed men. They could have dressed up as... No, they dressed up and criminalized Indians. Criminals did it. We didn't do it. We, the white people, didn't do it. Criminals did it. They criminalized a whole nationality by dressing up as Indians and started dumping tea in revolt of the government, of taxes. That's what it was all about. Taxes, which is part of the government. So cut it out with the, and they were looting that tea. They were stealing it. Cut it out with the black people are out here stealing and looting and they're a bunch of mobsters. You guys have no American education whatsoever. And until you do, you're not going to understand anything. You're always going to criminalize black people. You're always going to, oh, we did it. Let me tell you something. There are rednecks who are standing outside stores because they don't believe looting. They're like, we're not for looting, but we want justice for Floyd. And they're all standing out there with AR-15s. They're standing out there guarding stores, just like and some of them are black. And they're standing with black people. They're rednecks. And they're standing with black people. We're with you 100%. Justice for Floyd. Wait, what? Justice for you know why? Because they understand. They understand this could happen to anyone. And we're tired of seeing it happen. There are 40 million of us here. You think something was not going to break out over this? I don't understand some of y'all. Some of y'all will find any reason to justify the police and the dirt that they do. Good ones, yes, but lots of bad. We're talking about police. Uh, there are not nice people. They are not nice people, and many are racist by default. Oh, I think you're talking about the police. Uh, Hating the installation, not the people. Exactly. They used to abort stuff. You don't you don't want to know. Oh, come on. No, we want to know. Come on, Rich. Don't leave out Jim Crow and Jim Crow laws. If I'm gonna talk about Jim Crow, I might as well pull it up and start reading Jim Crow laws. I mean, look, white people have done some heinous crimes to black people, and we got videos now of scientists. Look, AIDS killed 35 million people. AIDS wasn't supposed to kill 35 million people. It was only supposed to wipe out the populaces in Africa. But the Dutch made that disease, and he sold it to poor black villagers and told them it would inoculate them from some other disease that was messing with them, and they knew it would kill them. I mean, the Tuskegee experiment. I mean, we can just go on and on and on in the music in the middle state that these Sony and all that. What do you think happened to Whitney Houston? You think she just decided to jump in the tub and get off? Then her daughter, and then the man who was supposedly off. But no, you think happened to Michael Jackson? What do you think happened to Prince? Okay, the music industry. All right, listen, I don't even listen to the radio. I can't tell you what's on the radio. I mean, it's heavy out here, people. The status, like the system is so messed up right now. It's this little bit of looting is nothing compared to what's probably gonna happen if they keep it up. I mean, that's nothing. That's only in one small, area in a city. Wait until you see a whole nation go up. And listen, black people aren't standing alone. Let me give you some more statistics, since some of you are just oblivious to what is actually really going on. You got the Hispanic people, right? The Hispanic people. Oh, okay, just drink this in. Just drink this in. Just drink this in. In 2000, I think in 2030, the Hispanic people will outnumber the white people. 240 million white people will be outnumbered in less than 10 years. Just drink that in. These are people of hue, people of color, people that you've gone to war with. They will outnumber everyone in less than 10 years. And the people who are originally from here, the Indians, there are only 2 million of them. Wiped out. Wounded Knee, wiped out. This is why you have a lot of Europeans who are afraid. Let me give you some more statistics. Let me just enlighten some of you people of how bad it's going to get. How bad it's going to get. There are European nations, and even Benjamin Franklin talked about how they're going to be outnumbered. There are European nations, I think in Germany, who said, what the government did is they said, listen, we need to start having children because we are going to be outnumbered. And so what they did was they went to married couples and said, you married couples need to start having children, and we'll pay you to do it. You think that's by accident? It's not by accident. There is a fear that is in the white or Euro Americans that is very real, very palpable, and it's causing them to act like a lion in a cage. And they are very, very dangerous right now. The ones that are in control. We're not talking about the ones who are just living there every day. Like I said, there are more poor white people in this country than there are anyone else. We're not talking about them. because they're not in control. We're talking about the ones who are in control and actually are paying attention to the numbers. That's who we're talking about. All right? Let's get that in perspective. Listen, what you're seeing now is going to be a lot worse. Like I said, I do the numbers. I look at the numbers. I look at the history. And I look at what's going on a pandemic level. Or in the word pan meaning, all around the earth. So I'm looking at everything that's going on, not just here in our nation. It's about to get real bad. And he's like I said, the system has nothing to do with us. Has nothing to do with us. The system is not for us. The system that is in place right now is not for us. You do not vote for those police officers to police your area. This is why those police officers can do what they want. And the officer that made the video, he's saying he did two tours. Where do you think these new police officers are coming from? The service. They're coming from the Army, Navy, Marines, and they're joining the police force. That's what they're doing. So let me also enlighten you, some of you people who seem to think that I'm race baiting or I'm for looting and all this ridiculous stuff that you just don't want to pay attention to. If you've done two tours, if you've done one tour in Iraq or wherever, if you've done one tour and you've seen war, and then you get on the police force, what is your mental state? War. War. That's what your mental state is. So when you have officers out here just attacking people, why? Because they're looking at an enemy. And then you have a status quo that's saying these people are the enemy. You need to get your numbers up. You're going to have police officers not arresting people. They're going to be killing people. This is why you have more and more killings every year. Because these people are coming from battle. They've seen blood. And once you've seen it, and once you spilt it, it's addicting. It's addicting. Some of these soldiers got PTSD. And they're on the police force. You can tell the difference between a beat cop who's just regular and an army cop. And that's what they are. They're army police. And you can tell the difference. You can look at their reactions. You can even tell the build difference. You can look at a soldier and be like, I know that's a soldier. And just ask them. Just like you can look at somebody and tell they've been in prison. They got a certain demeanor about them. Might have some tats. They'd have done some time. You know what I'm saying? They did some hard time. I'm not talking about jail. I'm talking about prison. Because they got that whole, if you come around my food, it's going to be on. Does that leave them when they leave prison? No, it sticks with them. That's their mental state now. That's the terrible thing about prison. It doesn't reform you to come out and do good. It reforms you to do bad. You're even more hostile now than you were when you went in. You're more prone to violence now because you've been living in a cage. You've been living in a violent area where the food is bad, where you don't know if you're about to get shanked, where people are being violated, and you're looking right at it and you have nowhere to go, and you're there for years being conditioned like Pavlov's dog. And then when you get out, you think you're civil? We're going to let you out because we think you're civil. First person that does something around them, boom. This is why you have what's called a repeat offender. Because mentally, they can't get out of jail. They can't get out of prison. It's the same thing when you've done tours. I got friends who went to war. I tried to go to war, and I'm glad I didn't. I tried to go to war with my buddy. When he came back, he told me stories. And the government pays this man a lot of money right now because he's messed up. And you know the first thing he did when he got back? What's the first job that he did when he got back here? He became a cop. There is something wrong with this. Some of these police officers are not ready for civilian life. You're not. As soon as you get into boot camp, it changes you. I wasn't the same after I got out of boot camp. And that was 30 years ago. And I can still remember it. I can still smell it. I mean, my heart rate goes up when I start thinking about some of those things. Because it's violent. And it turns you into something else. It changes you. You're not the same human being. You go back home to your mama, and your mama's looking at you like she don't know you. Because now you turned into a war machine. You're ready to kill. Her sweet baby is no longer a baby. Her sweet baby is ready to erase anyone. At the drop of a hat, at the sound of a firecracker. And you're taught this. And then you go to war. You do 2 tours of war and you come home and they give you an AR-15. People, an AR-15 is mimicking an M16. Okay? The only difference is it's not an automatic rifle. And there's a huge price difference. The M16 is $20,000. You can get an AR-15 for $600. Okay? So let's get this right. You have police officers running around with M16 or AR-15s. That AR-15 is mimicking that M16. That M16 is making you think that you are at war. You're prepared to go to war, but these are civilians. These are people who you're sworn to protect. It's why when people bring up black on black violence, I just laugh at them. I'm like, black people aren't sworn to protect each other. There's no written code among black people. Not to mention every nationality on violence. White on white violence, Mexican on Mexican violence, or whatever. Everywhere. If you live next to each other, then things happen. So let's cut that out. We're not sworn to protect each other. We don't have an oath to each other. We don't pay each other to protect each other. If we did and it was mandated by the government, then yeah, I can see the comparison between black on black crime and police and black crime. But we pay the police. If you are a working citizen in this nation, you are taxed. If you're taxed, your tax dollars, some of those tax dollars go to the police. You pay the police to protect you. I don't pay my neighbor to protect me. Get that understood. Yeah, there's black on black violence. There's crime. There's gangs. Well, white people ain't got gangs? You better wake up. Y'all better wake up. White people don't steal from each other. White people don't kill each other. Y'all better go and watch Snapped and some of those doggone shows, and it'll change your mind. White people out here doing some crazy stuff to each other. Y'all got more serial killers than any other nationality. Y'all got more pedophiles than any other nationality. And now we're seeing Hollywood being exposed because of this whole COVID-19 and the stuff that you guys are doing to children. To children. Corey Feldman came out and started talking about what was happening to him. And that's when that whole #MeToo movement started. It didn't start because of a woman. It started because of a male. And the women just took it over and ran with it. Some of y'all need to look at the big picture. Quit supporting corruption. I'm with you. Oh, somebody mentioned Bill Gates. So let me go up here and read some of these good ones. Yes, okay, I read that. They used to abortion. Okay. Jim Crow. Bill Gates is going to vaccinate everybody. This is true. And everybody's kids. This is true. Non-bots engaged. This is true. Nanobots engaged. Yeah, there is a strong running theory that Bill Gates is behind some of this. Okay, but do you know why? Now, here's something. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there are patents on cures for diseases. Now, just wake up to that. Just like there's a patent on NyQuil, there's a patent on uh, medicines that heal you. Even though a lot of those medicines come from plants. Acetylsalic acid is aspirin. It comes from a plant. It comes from a plant. Bill Gates has a patent on the cure for COVID-19. I'm just gonna go to the next thing. I'm just gonna go right into the next thing. I'm just let y'all drink that in. I believe in buying local. I believe in supporting your own people too. People who start the fire at the apartments were attacking the firefighters just trying to do their job. Okay, now that's wrong on every level. That's wrong on every single level. I got a friend who's a firefighter. Man, listen, I'm down with firefighters. As long as they ain't out there doing crazy stuff. Like you had one firefighter spit on this man's child and then drew a gun on the dude. Now he needs his butt kicked. But firefighters, I'm down with the big homies. No excuse for burning your own city down. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Nah, they're not going to be ashamed of yourself. And they didn't burn their city down. They burned down department stores that were not in their area. They went to a they went to a predominantly well-to-do area and started burning down their stores. And then they started robbing them. And I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying they're not burning down their part of the city. So you blame looting on the lockdown. No, I don't blame looting on the lockdown. I'm I blame the looting didn't start until an innocent man died. That's who I blame it on. Okay? Now there are different reasons for people who are looting. I'm not blaming looting on the lockdown. Now, the lockdown has a big deal to do with it. Once again, COVID-19 shut the world down. When you shut down the financial world, you have a lot. Listen, the world you knew before COVID-19 is not coming back. Okay? The unemployment rate is the highest it's ever been in history. We, we are looking at the Great Depression. You guys, we're in trouble as a nation. We're looking at the Great Depression. Do you know what happened in the Great Depression? Famine and all kind of crimes. The financial market was shut down. It's in 29. We don't want no part of that noise right there. It's not what you want. So I'm not condoning looting. Okay? But when you tell people not to go to work for 3 months, and then you only give them a very small fraction of what they were earning. All right. What is the average wage? Let's just pick the average wage. What, 10? 10 bucks? 20 bucks an hour? Not 20 bucks an hour. I mean, 20,000 a year. So let's just take $10. I don't even know anymore because I'm not in the working market. Let's just say $10. We're not even going to go minimum wage. We're going to say average wage for the average individual. Okay, we're going to say 10 bucks. That's 20,000 a year. That's what that equals to. It's a little less than that, like 19 something, but it's 20,000 a year. Okay, not that, and we're not even going to take away taxes yet. We're just going to say cash on hand, liquid. You got 20,000 in a whole year. A whole year is what you got. Then I'm not a mathematician, but for 3 months you tell me that not to go to work. So what would I if I'm doing 10 bucks an hour? What am I gonna make in In 3 months, I'm gonna make. Let's see. I'm not good at this part. So if it's 20,000 for 12, I don't know. Somebody do it for me. If it's 20,000 for 12 months, if I only work for 3 months, how much money is that? That's I don't know. One of you mathematicians do that. How much money is that? How much money will I have in 3 months? How much? I don't know what the answer is, but I'm just gonna guess. Let me just guess. Let's see. It's almost that's 3 months is that's not even quarterly, is it? 4 months would be quarterly, right? 4 months. Well, let's just do 4 months because it's almost 4 months, right? Let's just do 4 months. So quarterly. So take 1/4 of your earning potential for the average person, which is $10 an hour, which is 20 a year. So you take a quarter of that. So 16, 12. Wait a minute. $5,000, right? That's about right? $5,000. So if you take $5,000 in the last 4 months, you tell me not to work, and then I'm living off of my savings and $1,200 that you sent me. So how much do you think somebody making $10 an hour can save? How much do you think they had saved before COVID-19 came out? Do you think they're living from paycheck to paycheck? Is a good chance that they are. Do you think that they're spending every dime that they get as soon as they get it? It's a good chance that they are. Do you think they had a large bank account worth of COVID-19 money saved up? It's a good chance that they didn't. It's a very good chance that they didn't. You know, cost of living, and we're not going to go for average rent and yada, yada, yada. We're not even going to do that. We're not going for light bill, water, travel, car note. We're not going to get into all that. We're going to just break down to $5,000. You have to pay all your bills. You got $5,000 is what you would make in 4 months. You no longer make that money. You have $1,200. I don't know what percent $1,200 is of $5,000, but it's small. One of you mathematicians can figure that out. It's a very small percent, and this is what you have to live on for the last. And you didn't get that until the second month in. You think that there's not going to be anger and desperation that comes out of that? And this is for a single person, let alone have mouths to feed. You got to understand the stimulus check. The stimulus check was given out so stuff like this wouldn't happen because people were getting restless. The stimulus check wasn't given out to save your financial pockets. $1,200 was not going to save anyone's financial pockets. It wasn't there to stimulate your financial existence. It was there to almost patronize you, and it was there so you didn't go out in the street and started protesting and start rioting, which eventually happened. They didn't riot, but they started protesting. And when they started protesting, they protested armed. And they went to the state capitol. And then when they protested, they were armed, went to the state capitol, and then what happened after they were armed and went to the state capitol from protesting? What happened? They opened the nation back up. The stimulus check was not meant for you we're just going to give you an extra $1,200 for single people and $2,500 for married couples who make, under $100,000. That's not what that was. It was to placate you. That's what it was for. It was to calm you. It was to keep you in control. Oh, and then we might give you another $2,000 if this continues. What was that going to pay for when the average rent is $700? That's just the rent. That's not a mortgage, because they didn't stop the mortgage companies from collecting from you. Now, did they? Did they go to the lenders and say, you guys can no longer, it is illegal for you to collect a mortgage? No, they didn't do that. They told the people it's illegal for you to kick people out. You cannot kick somebody out during a pandemic if the government says they can't go to work. And some people have tried it, and other people showed up in their defense. You had people who were still kicked out and still had eviction notice, even though the government said that those people should not go to work and earn money. $1,200 was not there to fix your problems. It was there to satiate you, to just stroke you and just stay calm. Just stay calm. We've taken everything from you, including your freedom. Just stay. If you just stay calm, everything will be all right, until people showed up with guns. Well, I'm just trying to get you guys to understand COVID-19 and the reaction of COVID-19, for one, was uncalled for. What America did was uncalled for, and they knew it. There's a lot going on here that has nothing to do with curing people. There are a lot of people who died from COVID-19 who didn't have it. Okay? There's a lot going on here. There's a bigger picture here, and there's a lot of corruption that's going on here, and people are seeing through the smoke and mirrors, and they are upset, and they are venting. And a lot of them aren't doing or aren't thinking rationally. And this is not an excuse. This is the reality. This is the reality. It's not an excuse for looting. I don't want my stores where I shop, I don't want it to be on fire. I want to be able to go in and shop there. But I don't want to be locked in the house. And when I go out and I'm driving down the street, I don't want to be accosted, kidnapped, and murdered in front of loved ones or at all. Just on the side of the road, just dead. And then you're going to bring up, oh, he was a criminal. He signed a bad check. Listen, he signed a bad check. Okay, fine. It was a forgery. I don't know what the crime is. You call the police. You did exactly what you were supposed to. The man is sitting in his car. Here's what I don't understand. Why he didn't just pull off. You call the police. The man's sitting in his car. The police come to him. He's under the influence. Get out the car. The police have every right. If you committed this crime, they have every right to pull you out of that or to ask you to get out the car. They didn't pull him out of the car. He didn't resist getting out of the car. He got out of the car. They put him in handcuffs and they started talking to him. And we can see this on camera. Then they bring him around to the front of the store and they sat him down. One cop did this. One cop with one hand guided him to the side of the building and said, just sit down here for a minute. One cop did that. One. If you're resisting arrest, trust me, one cop is not going to be on you. One cop did that. One. Where's the resisting arrest? No, people, things are going to burn down. The system is corrupt all over America, and things are going to burn down. It has nothing to do with being rational. See, you people are thinking rationally, and big ups to you for thinking rationally. But this is not a rational. This is what happened was. It's not even because of Floyd. That is just the caveat. It's the constant beating down of the citizens. It's the constant murders that the police have committed, just with everyone. It's the constant corruption of the political system. And how do people become president when they don't win the popular vote? You got 28 people who decide. 28 people decide who's president. How is this possible? How are we free? Explain it to me, you people who want to think rationally. How did Hillary Clinton win the popular vote? But the president is Donald Trump. How is that? How is the popular vote not the end all to be all? How are super delegates and super delegates, how do they decide? If they all decide, then it's over. 250 delegates. If they decide, then to hell with the people and what you want. To hell with what you want. That's it. To hell with what you want. I don't want Donald Trump to be the president. I want Hillary Clinton to be the president. To hell with what you want. I'm a super delegate. I say what's going to happen. You got 28 people deciding who's going to be president. And it's a landslide victory for the people. And then you just spit in our face. Right in our face. Right in our face. We don't care what you want. The super delegates tell you what you want. See, you think you're living free, you're not. All this, oh, my friends died for the freedom. They didn't die for freedom. Your friends go to war, they are not dying for freedom. They're trying to make this a democracy, it's an oligarchy. Tell me, what is a democracy? You think your vote counts? Listen, for some of you who think your vote counts, vote against Donald Trump. Vote against him and see what happens. Just do it. Just do it just to see what happens. Just to test them. Just to vet the market. Just see what happens. Vote against him. Get all your friends to do it. Hundreds of thousands of you. Just vote against him and see what happens. He was outvoted by 3 million people. And he still became president. Same thing with George Bush. Al Gore beat George Bush in a popular vote. And George Bush was the president twice. And we went to war. People, you are not free. If you were free, if you were living in a democracy, then the superdelegates would not control. They would not be the end all to be all. You got 28 people who are controlling who's the end all to be all. I forgot what they call them. The Geneva, some goofballs. They're the ones who decide who your president is. That's it. You can stop me when I'm wrong. Somebody stop me when I'm wrong. One of you people who are so much smarter than me. Tell me when I'm wrong. The numbers are not lying to us. The only landslide victory we saw was when Obama came into office that first year. It wasn't even close. And you know who voted for Obama? White people. And of course, black people did too. But the white vote was ridiculous. Don't forget, there's 240 white people here. There's only 240 million white people. There's only 30. Listen, what percentage is that? One of you, high IQ people, what percentage is 30 to 240? One of you high IQ people, let me know. 40 million of us. 240 million of them. It was a landslide victory when Obama came in. Other than that, you're looking at the president for years on end has not been the president of the people. The president we got now is not the president of the people. He's not other people. He is a corporate president. He is a non-politician. And stop me when I'm wrong. He's a non-politician. He doesn't have a day in politics. Not one. He's a non-politician who won the presidency, and it wasn't because of the popular vote. It's because of corporate control. The superdelegates who control what you do, what you eat, where you sleep, when you sleep. They're the same ones who took your job from you. All you people who are, oh, writing is wrong. Tell me, all you people who are writing is wrong, which it is wrong, and all these people are just, they're all bad, they're writing, yada, yada, yada. Tell me how many people of you have been working for the last 3 months? How many of you have been working at your job? Because there's a good chance a lot of you weren't even working. And or you knew people who were not working. That's it. Unless it was essential, you weren't working. Unless you were in healthcare, you worked at a major food chain. They're open to. You worked at a department store. You worked at a gas station. Unless it was essential, guess what? You weren't working, and or you were working from home. And some of you still took a loss. Some of you still took a loss. And some of you who were working, and listen, and some of the people who weren't working are not returning back to their job, which means there's a high unemployment rate, even when COVID is over, and COVID is not over. You guys are trying to attack me and trying to make me seem like I'm all for looting, when you don't understand the big picture that's happening here, and that's been happening for years. There's a lot that's going on, and it's coming to a fever pitch, and it's not going to be wrapped up in a nice little bow. It's not going to be neat. It's going to be ugly. Birth is ugly. You ever seen a child get born? It's ugly. Ain't nobody pretty in there. Mom ain't looking pretty. The baby don't come out pretty. It's ugly. It's a beautiful moment, but it's ugly. That's exactly what's about to happen. When the corrupt system is torn down and reformed, it's going to be a lot of hurt and pain. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly. But when there is reform, when there is justice for the people, it's going to be beautiful. When people can vote on a president and they know they voted for that president, and the numbers are not going to lie to us. The numbers are going to be the popular vote wins. When that happens, when the police department are voted in, when that happens, when you are not fear of driving while black or doing anything while black. Now, people are walking into their apartments and people are stopping them. People are walking down the street and people are shooting them. When all of that comes to a screeching halt, it will be a beautiful moment. But until then, we have this. And you're going to have people looting. And you're going to have places set on fire. And you're going to have people yelling loud, screaming loudly, running down the street. And there's going to be more deaths. And there's going to be more destruction, because there's something that the people want. And they are going to die to get it. If you don't give it to them, there's going to be more places burned down. There's going to be more cities on fire. It's going to happen, and it's not just because somebody has nothing better to do. It's going to happen because we are living in a corrupt system. And unless somebody changes that system, you're going to have more of this. This is what you're looking at. So don't get mad at the people who are looting. Get out there and change the system. You got politicians who were these city council members. I don't know if they were in Atlanta. They took a vote to get a raise during the pandemic. A $500 a month raise. While everybody's out of work. And there were two people who were on that city council, and they said, are we really voting to get a raise while everybody is out of work? And there were four of them who were all like, aye. And there was like those of us against, and there were two of them who were just like, aye, like I'm against this. Like, how ridiculous does this sound right now? We got people who can't even pay their rent. People are getting kicked out on the streets, and you're asking for a raise. The system's broken, people. I used to work for that system. I was first contact. I was a legislative aide. That's what you are. You're the first contact for the constituents. When they call up there to complain to the House representatives who are in their district and they need something done, like they can't, like they didn't get to the enrollment for their insurance, and they didn't get the enrollment letter, and now you have uh people who are working without insurance and they can't afford to pay insurance out of pocket. Guess who they contact? The legislative aid. They contact you, and in this case it was me. And the legislator didn't do anything. I did. I made the phone calls to those departments and told them, you better let these people back on their insurance. And you know what? They were people who worked at the post office. They worked at all these jobs that support our lives. And you're going to tell me you're going to make these people pay for their medicines out of pocket? No, postmaster, you're not, because you are elected. And you will be unelected in a New York heartbeat if you don't turn around and let those people back onto their insurance right now. And that's exactly what happened. That is a true story. I used to work for the system, and I wanted the system to work for everyone. Yeah, you do release body fluid when you die. Facts. Love how this clown has my donate option. For one, clown, Brian B. I don't even know if you're still here, idiot. I didn't ask anybody to donate to me. And I don't. I never ask people to donate to me. They just donate. I'm against the riots, Brian B., to answer your question. Absolute power does absolute corrupt. Not burning down your own city. Uh, yeah, I didn't ask nobody to donate to me. They just did. Uh, Facts. He's not a clown. Go away. Thank you very much, Rich Wright. You know what else? It appears that man was peeing in his pants when his neck was. Yeah, yeah. You release body fluids when you die. This is true. Hong Kong is a foreshadowing of what is to come. And we're talking about COVID-19, Mr. Wanger. I don't even know if you're still here, but you're actually right. And a lot of stuff that they were doing over there, they were actually doing over here in New York. So you're absolutely right. I can't watch this video no more. Once is enough. Yeah, yeah. I've only seen the video once, and I just couldn't take it. I just couldn't take it. It just hurt to see that man's life expired. You are a joke, justifying crime. Once again, I never justified crime, either by cops or civilian. Protests against cops and government. Don't burn down and loot innocent people's shops. I agree 100%. I'm telling you why they did it. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not advocating doing it. I'm telling you the knee jerk reaction of it. So I'm done. Rich, yeah, I felt that bad for him. I felt terrible for that guy. No one is saying the rage or grief is an excuse. It's an explanation. Thank you. Yeah, somebody help these people out, because I repeated myself for the last 2 hours over and over again, telling you guys I am not for looting. I'm just telling you it's a reaction of anger. When people are angry, when you guys get angry, I would love to see some of you guys get angry. Because when you guys get angry, you must be the most civil person in the world. When I get that angry because somebody killed somebody I love, I'm not civil. I'm not. The video made me sick, and I quit following news and checked it once. Yeah, I'm not watching it again. It hurt everyone, didn't it? It just hurt to watch a man, and then the way his neck just went when they picked. It just. I just. I couldn't. Progressively getting worse as they continue to strip of our freedom. Modern day Nazi Germany, 100%. Tone George Floyd made it. He made it to the NFL. Well, you know what about that Polo 21? You know what about that? Um, what's his name made a video. He said he was his friend. Dude used to play for the Lakers. From Texas. I'm not a basketball dude, but he was my brother. He was like he was my friend. He said he went out there to Minnesota to change his life. Yeah, so this was not just a nobody guy. George Floyd was some kind of yeah, he was not far from being a celebrity actually. This is not a nobody dude. This is somebody who was he's got some clout behind him. He's got some clout. It will open up and shut down again. They're destroying the middle class. Uh, Curve line is now straight up and down. Yeah. Yeah, they went up in the middle class area and destroyed their hood. That's what they did. We should have been waking up 100%. Polo 21 too late. NY rapper. Yeah, they're killing those guys too. Uh, Stage news events and people believe it. I don't think this one was staged. I wonder how the riots will go tonight with the National Guard in place or if they'll institute a curfew. I heard how low income housing was burned down last night. Wow. Wow. Well, well, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. Here's just what I think. If they're brazen enough to burn down anything for one, you start setting fires, you're really upset. But when you start setting fires to your own place, that's just past upset. That's just that's anarchy. That's just I mean, that's just anarchy. So I hope the National Guard look listen, I'm sorry the National Guard even had to be called. But I knew there was going to be rioting, but I didn't know there was going to be rioting and burning down. But I knew they were going to come out. Excuse me. I knew there was going to be protest, but I didn't know there was going to be rioting. And I'm all about protest. Protest it, but the rioting, I never condone the rioting. You know what I'm saying? But we saw earlier where they were attacking police vehicles while the cops were inside of it. So you already know it's just going to be out of control because you usually don't see them attacking police officers while they're cruising by. You don't see that. Like this is a whole new generation of people out here who are just I mean, they've been beaten down and they've had it. They're fed up. They're fed up. So this is going to get really, really ugly. And I'm not approving none of it. I am approving protest. But I am not for looting because some of you guys ask, am I for looting or am I against? I am against looting. I'm against rioting. I'm against destroying police cars. But I understand it. Uh, yeah, I'm against violence, but I get it. What happened was a very blatant violent act. And it's been happening. It's been happening. So I understand it, but I don't condone it, just to make it clear. I don't condone violence. I don't condone rioting. I condone protest, though. I condone going to the governor's house and all that other stuff that they're doing. 100% stand out front of his house. Block his, doggone so he can't pull out. Lay in front of his car. Yeah. Get out there and block traffic. 100%. Block the damn highways like they did. All that. Because they did that before and the lady was on the bullhorn saying they're killing us. And I think that actually happened in Minnesota. So yeah, 100%. I'm all about, stopping their finances. If they're killing us and you don't care, we're gonna sit here so you can go and you make your money. No, you're gonna pay us attention. I'm for that 100%. I'm not for burning down stuff and all that. No, but go out and block the highways. Go out and block it. Screw it. We want you guys to quit acting like we don't matter. Quit acting like our lives are just so easily taken away and it's nothing. Go out and block traffic. 100%. Get in front of these politicians. Go to these politicians' house and tell them to change the law or uphold the law, that the written law. You know, they don't even consider black people people. They're doing stuff to us because they don't consider us people. The Constitution wasn't written with us in mind. But we're here. You brought us here. The Constitution was not written with black people in mind. The Star Spangled Banner was written against us. Talking about slaves. No, you got to understand that. Listen, do you guys understand that? You know what? Yeah, it's going to get bad. I don't think they started by paid actors. But this is true. They do stage stuff. Right, left, right. If you want right, go to Fox. Left, go to CNN. I heard lots of people from out of state showed up in the riots. They were not from. Well, yeah, lots of people from out of state. But that's every single riot. That's every single protest. People show up from out of state. Hell, I was gonna go down to Georgia. I was thinking about going down to Georgia and march for Ahmaud Arbery. But you know why I didn't? Let me tell you why I didn't. Because I didn't because they showed up with guns. The black people showed up with guns because they jogged through the city. And you know, once again, violence breeds violence. So I was like, oh, it's about to be a shootout, and I don't have a weapon. Looting is bad. Yeah, looting is bad, 100%. They shooting for looting was justified. Yep. Well, shooting for looting. Well, they just killed a guy. The owner of the store killed a guy who was looting his store. That just happened yesterday. Everyone needs to look up Operation Mockingbird. It never went away. Preach it. Go ahead and preach that. Yeah, leave a link about Operation Mockingbird. Media fuels hate. Yeah. Crying for justice while committing crime is stupidity. No, it's not stupidity of the highest order. No. It's not called for. But these people are not. Okay, when you say stupid, if you look up technically what stupid is, it means people who are willingly in a state of stupor. That's why stupid and dumb is two different things. You know, you're doing something stupid. These people, in their mind's eye, are not doing something stupid. They're doing something that they were trained to do. And it's wrong. What they're doing is illegal. But they're doing something that they were trained to do. They are. And I want to bring this up again. I want to say it again. Rioting and looting in America was not started by black people. Protest in America was not started by black people. I know you guys want to blame this all on black people. They're rioting, it's a mob. That's what you want to do. Not started by black people. Not whatsoever. You want to start looking at where the first riots and look, you guys, Look. You guys need to look at New York's history. Okay? When you start looking at where the first mobs came out of armed, okay? Look up America's history. Don't start blaming this stuff on black people. All right, just because it's socially acceptable. I don't know. Go look at where these mobs and stuff came from and where rioting and looting and protesting in the street. Go look up what these women did when they wanted to government to stay out of their vajayjay and they wanted to, go look at how some of them protested and the things that they did and the stuff that they destroyed. No. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. Don't sit here and blame this on black people. Don't you dare do that for not one damn minute without going and looking at the history of America and look how they've been rioting, looting, and shooting. No, don't you dare do it. Don't you dare do it. You need to go and look at what they did to Black Wall Street down there in Oklahoma. All over, allegedly, a black man looked at a white woman, and then they killed 3,000 people, black people, by the way. So no, 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 no. I'm not trying to hear none of y'all trying to blame this on black people and all this other stuff because y'all don't even know history. Y'all do not know history, and when you don't know history, and you're looking at what's happened immediately, you want to take sides. But when you find out where this is learned, where it came from, you realize that it's my people who did this. You're damn right. It's your people who started this. And you act like this all started because black people had nothing better to do, and you act like it's only black people out there. All you saw was black people in these videos? Is that what you think? All this looting and whatnot, this just nothing but like, ain't no white people in there. No white people are in there taking shoes and whatnot. Ain't not one white soul in there. You out of your damn mind. There are more poor white people in this country than there are black. Okay. Exhaust gas in the coolant test. Blown head gasket. Yeah. Yeah. Blown your head gasket. If my kids are hungry, I'm looting. Preach. You tell me not to go to work? Yo, I would have been all up in it. If I'm hungry, you told me not to go to work? Shoot, I'm hungry. I don't know what else to do. I can't buy no food. Man, listen, I done been there before. I done been there before. Where I'm looking around the house for pennies just to buy a bottle of water. Well, I'm just trying to buy a Snickers just to eat that day. I've been there. Not one police station was looted. No, but they did. Oh, for one, they did go to the police station, and they did attack the police, which I also don't condone. They attacked their vehicles. They did go to the police station, bro. Not to mention, what are you going to loot at the police station? And there's going to be resistance, which is exactly what happened. So they did go to the police station. But when people go to least path of resistance to get what they want. There's no food at the police station. No food there. So they didn't go to the police station to loot. They went to the police station because the police killed an innocent man. And the police used smoke grenades and stuff on them. So there was conflict at the police station. Like, you guys are trying to make it seem like they just went and just start tearing stuff up. Oh my goodness. Protecting the cops that kill. Yeah, and they shouldn't. Those cops should be in jail right now. Confront government, not innocent shop owners. What do you want them to go to Capitol Hill? Now, what they could do is go downtown. They could do that. They could go to their whoever's the closest legislator's house. I ain't saying tear it up, but they can go and protest in front of the legislator's house. Everybody knows where the legislators live. They know that these people are living off of us. Yeah, they went to corporate. They went to corporate America. They went to corporate America. Huh. So there's a particular media group that starts riots. I did not know that. You can't replace life. You sure can. You can replace that food and them shoes. Thanks, Rich Wright. Fight fire with fire. Uh, peace, everybody. Yeah, peace to you too. Seeds of logic in that. Water puts out fires. Right. Bro, don't listen to the haters. I'm trying not to. No one blames black people for looting. Stop race baiting. Really? No one was blaming black people for looting. Okay. I'm sorry. My bad. See, I knew somebody was gonna call me a race baiter. My bad. Who called me a race baiter? Wild man? Yeah, I'm a race baiter, right? I'm sitting up here talking about races, right? I'm sitting up here just fueling the fire for you guys to go out and just, get out of here. I can't wait for everyone to realize the problem is civic. Thank you very much. They kill all races, but the vision isn't going to fix it. This is very true. But we did cover that earlier. This conversation's been going on for 2 hours and 25 minutes, Jade, and we did cover this, and we did talk about the numbers. We talked about the statistical truth, the numbers that are there for everybody to get a hold of, especially, and these numbers are collected by the federal government like a census, and the numbers don't lie, and how they show a proportionate difference between races and arrests and murders. But yes, the police have murdered pretty much every race, and it is a and I said it over and over and over for you people calling me race baiter. I said this is a civil issue. This is a human rights issue. I've said this already, but like I said, some of you are just now coming on to the live, but I've been live for the last 2 hours and 30 minutes. I said it is a civil issue. This is an issue that is for everyone. I mean, look at what the police did to that young girl. She was like 19. They arrested her. They put her in the back of the car, double handcuffs, and she got shot in her mouth. The boyfriend was in the car. He took the girl out of the car, put the girl into the police car, handcuffed behind her back, and they said she took a gun and shot herself in the mouth. And I was like, how's that possible? And this was a white girl in the mouth. She shot herself in the mouth. But we have no video of this whatsoever. There are police cameras on police. There are police cameras in the police cars. There are police cameras facing every single angle in that police car. You can see and hear everything, but we have. And then you know what they said as far as the police cam. Oh, their cameras were turned off. Their camera fell. They said their camera fell. No, they murdered that white woman, and I talked about that. I don't just cover what happened to black people. I cover what happened to people. And I talked about that. They murdered that white woman. So no, don't just listen. A mom gets into an argument with her adult son. The police are called. The police come to the house and shoot the son in front of the mother. Those were white people. Okay, a white woman from Australia, now living here in America, calls the police. The police show up. There are two cops there sitting in the car, talking to the woman who is on the driver's side, and the cop on the passenger side pulls out his revolver, reaches across, and shoots this lady and kills her instantly. White woman. Recently, just last week, the cops are called on a man. He gets out the car with his shotgun, because I'm assuming that he had the shotgun in the front seat with him. So when he gets out, He has the gun in one hand and in his other hand up, and he's facing away from the police officers. They put holes in that man without a word. What they said, get out the car. He gets out the car. He's holding the gun in one hand, and he's not even holding it by the trigger. He's holding it by the barrel. It is a shotgun. He's holding it by the barrel. They open fire on this man and murder him. This was a white man. You guys, I'm not sitting here race baiting. I'm watching what all happens. All right, let's get this clear. I got love for all life. All right, this channel, you can go and search my lives and my other videos. I don't just talk about black people. It's closer to me when it's a black male because I'm a black male. It's closer to me because there are more black males being thrown in prison and don't know why. There are more black males being killed than there is any other race. Okay, we're just now seeing Asian people get killed, but they seriously provoke the cops to do it. Cops will not do it until they're seriously provoked. We just saw an Asian man a couple of months ago die because he came at a cop and attacked the police officer, and he had the police officer by the neck before they end up getting him off of him and killing this man. And they followed this man for like 800 yards, begging him to put the knife down. No, people. You're not looking at somebody who's race baiting. You're looking at somebody who's clearly understanding what the problem is. All right? Let me read some more of your comments. They're all corrupt. I don't believe cops are all corrupt. I agree, Jay. They want division. Absolutely. Divided we fall. As long as they keep us divided and fighting each other, we can't. This is very true. We can't focus on making the country acceptable. They have been doing this for a long time, and I can't watch it anymore. Well, if you stay tuned, you're about to see it happen again. They are all corrupt. Jennifer, you believe that? Okay, Jennifer, you are a Caucasian woman. Now, this is interesting. This is interesting because okay, so the reason why I say this, let's get this understood. There are more women on the planet than there are men, all right? And to my knowledge, especially where I live, statistically, the women outnumber the men. These are adult. These are voters. These are people who can vote or at the voting age, excuse me. Women outnumber us 2-1. And then when you look at the Caucasian woman, the numbers go even higher. Simply because there are more Caucasian people in this neck of the woods than there are, than there are any other nationality, meaning America and USA, but America. So there's 245 million white people. There's 40 million black people, but nonetheless, so there are statistically more women. Now, when you look at those numbers, you start looking at the people who are involved in officer shooting. The white woman is very low on that totem pole. You just don't see a lot of that. So you don't have a lot of white women with run-ins with the police that are violent. Statistically, you just don't. And the chances of a white woman having a violent altercation with a police officer is pretty low. They would have to be provoked, meaning the officer would have to be provoked. This woman would have to do something, out of character statistically for a police officer, any color, to attack and kill her on a statistical. Now, this has happened, but on a statistical, on an average. Okay, let's just say that. So when you hear a white woman saying, hey, they're all corrupt, when you hear a blanket statement like that, you start to wonder, statistically, you wouldn't get involved with the police. Statistically, your family probably has never had a run-in with the cops. Statistically, You like this is out of your scope of reality. This is not your day to day. Me, I am on the opposite side of that. I am a black male. Statistically, we are accosted and murdered or going to jail more than any other race and sex in the US and pretty much all over the world. Statistically, I could be almost an endangered species. Not to mention, I am a male, so there are less of us than there even is black female. So statistically, I'm on the opposite coin than a white woman, according to the numbers. So it just makes me wonder, why would you say that? What has happened to you to make you go, they're all not Officer David, not Officer Smith, not Officer so and so, all. When I don't even think that they're all corrupt. What would make a white woman whose reality is not my reality? This is not even in her scope of reality. She doesn't get in her car and think that she's going to be accosted by the cops. That's not what a white woman does. She's just as carefree and has no. She could be surrounded by cops and have no fear of them. Me, I think it's going down if one officer is in my vicinity. One. There could be a parade of them around a white woman and she's just like, I'm good. I've even heard white women say it. They're not going to shoot me, I'm white. They're going to shoot you, you're black. What would make a white woman say this? And see, this is not so much a direct question. This is a direct result of how blatant the corruption is here in America. If someone who is saying this and has fear, if this fear is now hitting the front door of someone who it just most likely isn't going to find you, but it's finding you by looking at what's happening to other people, and now you feel this fear, even though it's probably not going to be your reality, but it's your reality from someone else. This is how bad it is. That means it's really, really bad. Do you guys understand that? I'm trying to get you guys to understand, if the people who are usually safe are now thinking there's not one officer in America who isn't corrupt. Her reality is now your reality. She has turned into a black man. This is her mental state. Now, when she gets in her car and she sees an officer, with her thinking all police are corrupt, she's thinking, and listen, not all black people think all police are corrupt, but she has taken it over to the next level and saying all police. So now when she sees a cop, she thinks that police officer is corrupt. That police officer can do anything to me. That police officer can kill me. That police officer can arrest me for no reason. That police officer can bust into my house and shoot up my family and say, oops, we have mistaken identity, and get away with it. That police officer can shoot me in the mall. That police officer can take my children away from me for no just cause. That police officer can kill my children. All police are corrupt. You guys understand the mentality that is happening here in America. She is a shining example of the distrust that the citizens have for the police. All police. There's going to be fire. There's going to be destruction. When the white people no longer feel safe, you think these fires that you're seeing now are bad. You ain't seen nothing yet. You think black people are looting or whoever, you think what you're seeing now is bad. Wait until the 12 militia come up out of the woods. The ones up in Michigan, here in Ohio. Wait until they come up out of the woods. You ain't seen nothing. Listen, what happened 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago or was it last year? Them boys in Denver got upset because the federal government wasn't doing something that they were supposed to, right? And they went to a federal building and took over the federal building. Now, it wasn't a huge operation that the federal building had, but it was a federal building. Who responded to that? It wasn't the local police. They were fake cops that responded to that. And they gave those people a chance to leave. They gave those people a chance to be peaceful because it was a protest, but it was a violent protest. They showed up with guns and they took over the building, took it over. Now we're going to get what we want. And I think it was all over farming or something, cows or whatever. But they wanted something and they got tired. And they loaded up their trucks with guns and they was like, we're taking this over. They start having cookouts out in front of the buildings as if nothing was going to happen. Daring the government to come and see about them. And them boys showed up. And some people, they gave in peacefully. And other people was just like, hell no. We want blood. And some people died. Y'all think we are doing something. When you got people like that, when you got people out there like that, who have the choice to leave. They told the one guy in the white, he had a white truck. He had 3 people with him. He was like, hell no, I'm not backing down. And he charged at those police officers. In his truck. He charged at him. And then when it ran up on a snowbank, he got out and he still came out that federal officer. That man would have been alive today if he would have been, if he would have just backed down. He would have been alive today. They start shooting at them. And he still didn't back down. He got out of his truck and he was still ready coming at the cops like, no. See, he was passionate about something. And I don't know the whole story. But they end up shooting that man. Do you think that the feds want 240 million of those people like that? You think the feds want 240 million people unafraid to die for their cause? You think this is what they want to face? Oh, no. They don't want no part of that. Oh, no. What was the bloodiest war on American soil? The Civil War. Who did that mostly involve? White people. Think about that. I mean, for some of you who are trying to think that this is race baiting, this is not race baiting. No. When Jennifer says that all police are corrupt, oh, there's going to be a reckoning. When Jennifer is afraid to go down the street, walk down the street, she lives in wherever she lives, the suburbs. It doesn't matter if she lives in the hood or the suburbs. Jennifer is afraid. There's going to be a reckoning. There's going to be a reckoning. And then we don't care how many cops come out and play basketball with us. There's going to be a reckoning. If the cops aren't fixing the system, if the politicians aren't fixing the system, then there's going to be a fever pitch. And Floyd is just the match that's going to start the fire. And there's going to be more Floyds. And the fires are going to get bigger. And there's going to be tanks rolling down the street. And those tanks are going to let off rounds. Oh, baby. It's going to be a big deal. Oh, yeah. And you're going to see citizens coming out in droves. You're going to see citizens against citizen, brother against brother, sister against sister, uniformed men and women against their own kin, literally. And everybody wanting peace, but one group is going to be under orders and the other one is going to be about surviving. You either change what you're doing or we're going to change it for you. Calm down, sir. Just give us time. No, we did that already. But now Jennifer is afraid to drive down the street. To hell with that. You think these white men are going to let the police scare their children? That's what you think. You think they keep knocking off little white girls, that there's not going to be a reckoning? Because they're doing that now. These soldiers who are coming from battle and joining a police force, they're not even seeing color. All they're seeing is the enemy. And it's us. For you guys who think that it's all about black and white, you need to wake up. You need to wake up. The system is wrong. The system is being controlled. And it's not by you. Your vote is not. It's not mattering. Your say-so is not mattering. How long will you not matter before you've had enough? They made it very clear when George Bush was voted in that the popular vote didn't matter. And they egged his car during the inauguration. There wasn't black folks who did that. They egged the president's car because they realized this president is leading our country and we didn't vote for him. Donald Trump is leading the country and we did not vote for him. Why even vote? It's a sham. It's a scam. It's a fraud. Voting is, listen, the only reason why voting is in place is to placate you. Voting for the president is a complete sham. And not one of you can prove me wrong. Not one of you, because we can just look in history and we can just look at the numbers. And you will be sat down real quick. Not one of you can stand up and say voting for the president is completely for the people. It is completely controlled by the people. It's not. You're not, you people who are, going and beating up folks, talking about your brother or your family died for the freedom of America. They did not die for freedom. They died for oil. You think you're free? Vote for the next president. And then look at the results. Just do it. Vote against Donald Trump and see what happens. Donald Trump will be the next president. And truthfully, I don't even care if he is or isn't. What I care about is being able to drive down to Kroger's and get me a lemon tea whenever I want to, without being afraid. That's what I care about. What I care about is walking around in different neighborhoods just because it's a nice sunny day without being afraid. That's what I care about. I care about my freedom, or what little I think I have. But me and Jennifer, we're in the same boat now. Jenny's afraid, and I'm afraid. And listen, Jennifer is more afraid than I am. Because I don't look at every cop like, I can't. That's a lot of energy. But Jenny said all. They're all corrupt. If Jenny thinks they're all corrupt, well, who am I to say that they're not? Read a couple more of your questions. Uh, and thanks, Jennifer Burns. Thank you for your comment. It just really hits home. Use of force rules for the police are outdated and fangrious. Never heard of that. Fangirus? I don't even know how to say that. But but the protectionism is a huge problem with the police. Exactly. And who are they protecting? Corporate. When they when they do the wrong thing. Agreed. 100%. Tuverine. Jade said we need to take our country back from these politicians that make us hate each other. 100%. Let us know how to, how do we do that, Jade? How do we take our country? Okay, we're in an interesting time here because you got people who are like, violence is not the way, looting is not the way, which it isn't the way. Being this angry and passionate is understood, but going out and bringing harm to buildings and people's work, and okay, fine, 100%, I agree with that. Stop tearing up, neighborhoods. Stop doing that. However, but I understand the passion. Tell us, Jade, how do we take our country back? How do we take our country? How do we go to these politicians and tell these? Because listen, you vote for these politicians. You vote for them on the city, state, county level, and federal level. Now we already know the presidency, the election for the presidency is a complete sham. But you have your state representative, you have your congressman, woman. So you have these people at the state level, you know, that you're voting for also. How do you break the system? Because listen, even if you vote for David or Mary, the system itself is broken. They're not going to get in and change the system. They can talk taxes and jobs all they want to, but none of them ever talk about the police. Name me one politician. No, no, no. We've heard one come out and talk about police brutality. Police brutality. Understood that 100%. And then another senator came out, and tried to step on him when he clearly didn't understand what the man was saying. However, have we heard a politician talking about changing the system? See, they talk about reform, but when they say reform, all it is a couple, video lessons on how not to kill, innocent people. And we can see that those lessons go nowhere. Reforming the police doesn't go nowhere. It's the system they work for. How do we reform the system? Jade, tell us how to reform the system. How to fix the broken system. And it's a beautiful system, too. And it could work for everyone. But the corruption in the system is coming from the top and beyond. People like to mention the 1 or the 2 percenters. And come on. If we even started at the city and state level, how do we go to their front door and say, you know what? We voted for you guys, and you guys are not doing what we're saying. And even if we vote for the next cheese eater, it's not going to matter because he or she or he is going to get in here and do the same thing because the system is wrong. How do we fix the system? I'm going to read some more of your comments. Take the country back. Here, take the country back. The corpse took everything over, including the news. We are all conditioned. 100%. The system is made to enslave us 100%. It's bad when those in charge are corrupt. Listen, if you have people who are supposed to you got people who are supposed to be the so-called justice system. And if there's injustice in the justice system, then there's corruption all the way around because you're the shining example of what we're supposed to be. You, you're the justice system. When people come from out of town or out of country and they see and they know that there's only so much that they can do before the justice system catches up with them if they're here to do bad. Even if they're here to do good, even if they're here just doing their thing, they know that there's certain things that you can't do. You can't just haul off and start stealing cars without some fear of the justice system, without fear of the written law saying, hey, you can't steal cars, it's a felony, you're going to do this much time behind bars. If you don't have that fear, then everybody will be doing everything at any given time. But if you have the people who are supposed to uphold that law stealing cars, if the people who are supposed to be the justice system, if they're stealing cars, well, then what's to stop everybody else from stealing cars? Nothing, because the Justice Department is stealing cars. The people who are supposed to be just, they're stealing cars. So why can't I go out and steal a car? Why can't I shoot Ahmaud Arbery? The police killed George Floyd. The police shot and killed Tamir Rice. The police shot and killed the boys. The police shot and killed that little 8-year-old girl in Detroit. The police shot and killed that 15-year-old boy in Chicago. The police shot and killed, shot and killed, shot and killed. They shot and killed Philando Castillo. They shot and killed and shot and killed. Why can't I shoot and kill? Everybody else is stealing cars. Why can't I steal cars? The justice system does it, and they're the example of what justice is supposed to be. If they're doing it and getting away with it, then I can shoot him on Arbery, lie on him, and do exactly what the police did. They said, and when he called the police, talking to the dispatcher, he went into this house, so it tried to seem like the house was boarded up. It was a regular full house. It wasn't. Tried to seem like there were trespassing signs, no trespassing, no trespassing. He went in the house and stole something. He didn't. Video camera show he stole nothing. He'd been going in the same house for months. Try to say he stole fishing equipment. He didn't. And when he came out the house, they said he had his hands in his pockets, so he might have a gun. How many times have we seen police officers do this? Reaching, hands was in his pockets. They shot and killed Philando Castillo in front of his girlfriend and his child because his hands were down and they knew he had a weapon. They shot and killed the one guy in New York because his hands was in his pocket reaching for his wallet. They shot and killed a man recently with his hands up in the air. And he's talking to them, and they all have their guns drawn on him. This just happened a week or so ago. He's talking to them. And they were like, come over here. He's like, no, you guys have your guns drawn. And his hands, both of his hands is up in the air. Both hands. All these lights on him, cameras, everything. Everybody can see this. And he says, no, you guys are going to shoot me. And they was like, get over here. He's like, no, you guys are going to shoot me. And they was like, put down the gun. Both his hands was in the air. There was no gun. And the guy said, I don't have a gun. And they shot him and killed him anyway. When you hear hands are in their pockets, when you hear just gun, look what they did to Willie. Reaching, brrr, About 4 or 5 officers just opened fired. The man was asleep in a drive-through. You couldn't just knock on the window and wake him up. There's a gun right there. This man reaches for the gun, reaching. We didn't see no gun. Not to mention, if he has a gun and he's asleep, there's a good chance he's not reaching for the gun to shoot you. He was asleep. He was asleep. We've seen it over and over and over again. And the McMichaels used that to kill Ahmaud Arbery. Hey, what's going on, Sherry? How you doing? You had bad windows and okay. I think this killing was. You think the killing was racial? All right. Well, everybody agrees that it's racial, but it's not only just a race issue. So yes, it was racial. Well, I believe that too, but it wasn't only. But it's not only just a race issue. It was bad cops and shouldn't have happened. 100%. 100%. Everybody say hello to Sherry. Hey, Sherry. The cops should be fired and convicted. They were fired, but they haven't been convicted yet because there is some rule in place where you can't even. I think you can't even talk to a cop until 30 days later. So we're waiting on that. It's crazy, but the more we fight each other, the worse it's going to be. We can't expect change when we do nothing different. We all got to work together. Jade Marino, Marino, Italian, Caucasian woman, Italian. Very wise words. Very, very wise words. Let me ask you something though. When you say we are fighting against each other, who do you mean? You mean African Americans and Caucasians? Because, or do you mean we the people? Because I'm gonna tell you something. Not all nationalities here in America are at war. They're not all at war. The Asians are not at war here in America. They're not. They're not. I was talking to this woman, and I was telling her the same thing. Some years ago, I was telling her how the police they're not checking for Asians whatsoever. And she said there's some truth to that because I have a child by an Asian. She's a black woman. And she said the police pulled me over, was asking me questions, and, being somewhat aggressive with me. But the police happened to look back and see my child in the back who was asleep and saw that my child was Asian. And then the police woke my child up just to take a better look at him. And then turn around and left us alone. Just think about that. Not everyone is at war here in America. We're not. There are, like India, the people from India. How many of them do you see getting arrested? How many? How many have you seen killed by the police? Arrested by the police? Accosted by the police? Imprisoned? You don't see it. It doesn't even matter if killing is racial. The social climate is racial. The powder keg is already existing for numerous reasons. You are absolutely 100% correct. Yeah, it's a domino effect, 100%. The two-party system is a sham. Well, it's not a two-party system because you have the Green Party, you have the two dominant party system. But there's a bunch of other parties that actually all line up to vote. And at one time, the Green Party almost had a president, or they had a nominee for president. And I think it was Jesse the Body Ventura. Somebody, one of you 4.9, GPA helped me out with that. But I think Jesse the Body was running for president or Senate or governor or something like that. I think he's Green Party. The two party all work together on their agenda. But this is true. Military teach combat, then expect these people trained to kill to turn it off. It is not possible when they're coming back from war. Yes, I made that point. Absolutely, Lady G. It is not possible for you to turn off what. Listen, as I'm a veteran, but I didn't go to war. As a veteran, and I said this earlier in the conversation, as a veteran, I still remember the training that I've had. I can still vividly see and I can still feel the training, what they've done to me. When you go into a gas chamber, because this is what they do in basic training, when they put you in a gas chamber, your immediate thought was, I'm gonna go into a gas chamber where I know that I can't stay for too long. And you're trusting in them to get you out of there, for one. And also, when you're in there, you're trusting that the gas mask that they have, you're trusting and hoping that it's going to work. Because when you go into a gas chamber to give you this whole speech and tell you what exactly is going to happen and what you should do as part of your training. So when you go in and they hit the gas, you got to understand that this is a gas chamber that they put you into. This is something that were killing people in Auschwitz, where they were wiping out millions of people. This is what they used. And they train you in this. Listen, you can't go into a gas chamber and come out the same person. It is not even possible. Not even close to being possible. When you go in there, you are under the reality that this is immediate death. You're not going to last in there long. And listen, the average person holds their breath, I don't know, 30 seconds maybe. And I'm 19. I was running the mile in 4:26. I was quick. I had great lung capacity. Okay? I go in there, I don't last even 30 seconds. You got people who are throwing up and crying. It hits you fast. And it's a ton of bricks. Once your lungs go, you are struggling and you're in four walls brick. You're not coming out of there. It's a metal door that you hear close. Your eyes are burning. It's going bad really, really fast. And the drill sergeants are in there with gas mask on, looking at you suffer. It goes bad quick in there. And when you put your gas mask on and you do it the right way, if you are cognizant enough, which not everybody is, some people lose their lunch in there quick. You put that thing on, you listen, you're only 30 seconds from dying. This is how they train you. Let alone go over the water and start getting shot at by whatever they're shooting you with. RPGs or, whatever fancy names that they have. Yo, it's real. The training is real. Even if you never saw one day of war, it's real, people. The mentality is switched. It's no longer casual Sundays. Every day it can go down bad. Every day. Every day, people. You gotta get that. And don't fool around. And listen, I even made a video talking about Paragon Trails. It is a mock war that they put you in. Yo, listen, when they put you in Paragon Trails in a mock war, they're literally shooting over your head. Literally. And you have mock grenades, M50 rounds going off, but they're shooting 50 cals over your head with tracer rounds. Like, this is not a Nerf gun that they're firing. These are real bullets that are whizzing over your head from a tower. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. You think somebody can't get shot? Listen, this is just in training in the Army. This is just training. Telling you people, it is real. When the military gets a hold of you, you are not the same person. And I don't care how long you live, you never forget any of it. You don't. You still have dreams. I still have dreams about it. I ain't been in 30 years. I still have dreams about it. I still do. I still think I'm in the military. I still do. Now, if I went to war, oh, have mercy if somebody messed with me and I went to war. And I'm on edge every day. Oh, have mercy. Have mercy you say something to me out of line. Oh, no, no, no. It's all bad. And now I know I can do it and get away with it. Oh, that's a recipe for disaster. And that's exactly what we're getting. You got people who like to kill. They like to kill. They love it. They love the power. You understand there's power in taking someone else's life, especially if you can get away with it. There's power in watching another human being expire right in front of you with your hands in your pocket and your knee on their neck and their friends and people who love them begging for their life. That's nothing but power. Beg for his life. Beg for his life. Nope. I'm judge, jury, and that's it. I'm killing this man today. It wasn't the other officers who killed him, even though they're accessory. It was that one officer who had a dying man saying, I can't breathe. Hand in his pocket, casually killing this man. There's power in that. That man needs to die. And it needs to be public. And it needs to be by the same system who is supposed to protect us from other people who can just come along and put their knee on someone's neck and kill them. That man needs to die by the people. Because the people are the ones who are supposed to be in control of the police, not the other way around. The people are the ones who are supposed to be in control of the legislators, not the other way around. These legislators aren't better than you. The system wasn't made up to make the legislator king. We don't bow to you. We don't prostrate ourselves in front of you. You're not a sovereign king. You're not a sovereign ruler. You are a legislator. You're here as a mediator between the people and the government, regardless of what level of government that is. That's your job. You are the voice of the people. We're not underlings. We're not subjects. We're the people. We're the force of the nation. We just happen to put our trust in you because we thought you were qualified to speak for us on Capitol Hill. That's your job. Your job is not to demean us. We don't cower around you. We don't cower around you. You're not some super being. You're a legislator. Legislate. That's what you do. You don't get privileges because we chose you. You don't get your dinner, Kwame Kilpatrick. You don't get to have free dinner. You and your homeboys walk into a restaurant, 30 of you eat for free. That's not what we paved the way for you to do, Kwame Kilpatrick. It's not what the deal is. You go in there and you pay for what you eat because you are just like us. We voted for you because we thought that you were educated and smart enough to speak for us. Not because you're some big Willie all of a sudden. Listen, legislators aren't celebrities. We're not paying for your entertainment. We're paying for your knowledge. That's what we're paying for. We're paying so we can get stuff done on our level. We're paying to be heard. One voice. That's what we're paying for. You are the one voice of the many. That's what you're there for. You're not there so the police can protect you and then kill us. You need to go. And your corrupt police system needs to go with you. Because we, the people, are tired. And we've been tired. But now we're fed up. We can't take any more. And we've had it up to here. And what are you going to do? Kill us all? You going to bring out your big guns and murder everybody? Well, if you did that, then for one, we know that if you start bringing out tanks and all this to try to stop us from getting what we want, which is a system that is for the people, well, then we realize that this system was never for the people. We realize that all the preaching that you do for all these other nations to have a fair voting system, that our system was never fair. When you go over to Nigeria and all those other countries and tell those kings over there that you need to be able to have a fair voting system, and we know that Nigeria doesn't have a fair republic, it's not a republic. Or when you went over to Mogadishu because the warlords took over the country, okay, or when you went over to some of these other islands and the drug dealer was the main man, and you cut off their visa to the country. You told the country, we're going to cut your visa off if you don't give us that drug dealer. Well, that drug dealer was giving money to the poor people who had absolutely nothing. That drug dealer had a whole bunch of people on his side because that drug dealer was feeding everyone. He was protecting their children. He was doing what the governor or the government would not do, and he got sick of it. But you wanted to cut off the visa. So you cut off their visa, so they went in and went after him. And now you have him. No, we're sick and tired. We're sick and tired. You're going to need the Army. You're going to need the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You're going to need all of them. You spend $560 billion for your war machines. It's $560 billion. And then you went over there and invaded Iran. For what? Because the Geneva Code said that they can't have nuclear weapons when we got nuclear weapons all over every part of America? For what? Because Ahmadinejad blocked the Strait of Hormuz because of the oil? You don't even need their oil. You don't need it. You want it. You get oil from the Mexico, the cartel. You get oil from them. Good joke. The system is broken and it needs to be fixed. And we're tired of politicians who won't fix the system. And we need to go to their house. Whenever they go to peel off to go to work, no, we're going to be sitting in front of your garage. We're going to be sitting in front of your driveway. We're going to be sitting on your sidewalk. And we're going to pile up and we're just going to camp out there. And you're not going anywhere because you don't want to listen to us. We're getting murdered in the street. No, we're going to come to your house and boycott. We're going to make sure that you can't go to work because you don't deserve the job that we voted you in for. We're taking you out of that job. You are no longer the voice of the people. We're going to hire somebody else and make them the voice of the people. And they're going to go to Capitol Hill and be the voice of the people. And Capitol Hill is going to change, or we're all just going to have just a grand old opry up in here. It's about to be all bad. And you're going to have millions and millions of Americans who all want the same thing, and you're going to see who the real army is. And that is the army of the people. Point blank. We're tired of corporate America. We're tired of it. We're tired of the bailouts because that's all you're going to do is bail them out. We're tired of that. We're tired of it. We don't want to see no more AIG. We don't want to see none of that. We don't want to see none of that. We don't want to hear none of your garbage of how, the freedom of America. No, we don't want to hear none of it. America is not free. You're not living on free land. I'm going to read a few more comments and I'm going to go. Mouth is getting dry. It is going to be a revolution, exactly, MC. Yep, we're going to take down Washington. We're going to do it in we're just going to clog it up. You're just going to clog it up. You don't have to go down there and beat anybody down. All you have to do is show up. Like when Martin Luther King gave his speech. Except you're going to block the highways, you're going to block the airports, you're going to block every form of transportation, and you are going to bring everything out there and you're going to clog the whole thing up. And the whole system is going to stay clogged until the people in there who will not hear us are removed, and the people who will hear us and will be for the people are in place. And that's just it. We're tired. You don't want to stop these people from killing the innocent. You done got Jenny to the point where Jenny thinks that all cops are bad. That's real bad. You're arresting our children? No, we're done. We're done. We were patient. We waited. We protested in peace. We begged. We're done. We're done begging. Jenny's upset. That's the last straw. It's definitely going down. We're gonna cleanse them. We're gonna get on buses. We're gonna get on trains, planes, and automobiles, and they're gonna roll their tanks down the street, and they're gonna talk martial law, and we're gonna stand in front of their tanks, just like uh, the Asian guy did over there, and and if we're going down, we're going down. But we are going to stand as a nation. We're going to, millions of us, and we are going to stand as a nation. We are sick of it. We're done. This is what COVID-19 did. You took our jobs away from us. You took our livelihoods away from us. You locked us in our room. You're in Minneapolis but have no clue. Mackenzie Wallacre, I hope I say that right. Uh, yeah, there's a lot going on. But as of right now, at this moment, I don't know. You're a lot closer than to the action than I am. I am in Ohio. But if there is something that is going down, let me say this: if you're going out to protest, be careful. Don't go out to loot because that's going to come to a screeching halt, and we don't want it to come to a violent halt. But if you're going out to protest, by all means, go out and protest. Because, like I said, this is a civil matter. This is it was spawned by racial, but it is definitely reaching every home. So yeah, going out there and protest if you have to. And I'm sure there are websites of people who are protesting, doing a good and peaceful protest. So yeah, I'm sure you'll be able to get in touch with them. Do you think this is going to spread to other cities? I think it already has. Usually, protest is different. Protest is different, especially peaceful protests, because people are thinking, well, I'm going to go there, protest, and go home. So, protest is different because instead of it spreading out to other cities, like the Trayvon Martin spread to Ohio. I mean, that was, well, did he live in he was from Florida. That was from Florida. There were people protesting in Ohio. So yeah, it's probably going to spread to other cities, but you have people who are willing to travel. You know what I'm saying? So you have people who are willing to travel and, go down to whatever city where this happened and, boom. Do I think they're going to protest here? I believe so. I believe so. If they do, I'll go live because I'm gonna go get into it if they do. So I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out other cities later. Yeah, it's definitely going down. Okay, so Lady G is saying it's gonna go down in Atlanta. So I believe that. Atlanta is yeah. Yeah, so yeah, she's saying it's gonna go down. I'm from Detroit, that's true. Okay. Uh check if anyone has live feeds from there. Only way to get real truth. This is true. Yeah, I don't know how to do all that. Uh, I guess you just start Googling and see if there's a live. Matter of fact, you guys hold on a second. Hold on a second, guys. See if there's a live. Ah, I'm gonna check and see if there's a live feed. So, guys, give me a second. Uh, guys, give me a minute, guys. All right, so let me see if there's a live feed. Okay, live feed, Minneapolis protest live stream. Okay, so there is a live stream. Click it now. Okay, so there is. So all I went to is Google live stream Minneapolis protest. Here's what we can feel it. The crowd is trying to get everybody else to go that way now. Most of the people are obliging. They actually push the police back out the block, and now continual um, continual elders are continuing to tell everybody to go. You heard earlier somebody saying, "Don't police my emotions. Don't try to tell me what to do with my emotions." Right. People are losing in different ways, and a lot of times people are not able to express themselves in well, in the way that they feel is proper. Some people feel the proper way is not a violent way, and to go through the channels and channels don't work. Try to get justice through the system, which brought this harbinger of death. Okay, so there is a live feed for the young lady. Again, we're live here. This is Minneapolis. This is Nico from Minneapolis. Okay, so and that's 2 hours. So there is a live feed for the young lady who lives in Minneapolis. There are people who are protesting. Uh, Writing does come and go, so enjoy the show. But writing does come to where it just gets worse and worse and worse, and we don't want the writing to get worse. But uh, not everybody's thinking rationally, and it's it can get to where a loss of life is because National Guard has already been called. Okay, needs a police station before they go after any other buildings. If any building they need to go to the police station, well, they need to protest in front of the police station. Don't riot in the police station with protests. Yeah, police will shoot you. They're not going to go in there and riot, but you can go there and protest. Oh, the stores did not rebuild in LA. See, thank you very much, Jason. I needed that information. We talked about that an hour ago. See, I need that. I need that. California is tent city. This is true. California is tent city. More popping up in Canada. Then they make jokes and award shows about it. Right, laughing at us. But they lost one store. Be looted is only a fraction. This is true. It's a very small fraction. But in this case, they lost the actual store. Yeah, once the big three moved, jobs went dry. In Detroit. Yeah, you're talking about Detroit. Disney is taking over everything. Yeah, they are. Japan killed Detroit. As somebody who worked in the car industry, I can say yes and no. I can definitely, I feel you on that. And listen, you guys, my dad worked for Goodyear for 36 years in Akron. So when I start speaking on the car industry, I'm not a person who's just talking out the side of my neck. I worked for, as a temp, I temped up at Honda for about 5, 6 years. So just to let you guys know, it's a whole different atmosphere when you're working for an American Japan country or Japan company. They don't play. It is very different. Yes, I agree. But who started the riot? Think about it. I don't know who started the riot. Indirect violence. Actually, it was a peaceful protest first, and then the riot started. So-called law enforcement is justified criminal action. Well, it's the criminal. Yeah, it's a criminal. It's a criminal system. I mean, you just can't do what you want and expect people to just keep putting up with it. Who has the most to gain from people from different backgrounds fighting each other? The system itself. Provocateurs. I agree. The people didn't start rioting. They wanted the riot. The people started in peaceful protests. This is true. Yeah, but there's a danger in flashing fancy weapons. Just because you have a big gun, don't mean you should use it. Yeah, we thought martial law was coming too because of COVID-19. Poor people fight each other while the rich man drives the bank. Well, see, people will fight each other until they have a common enemy. You ever heard the term "is the enemy of the enemy my friend"? That's what's happening now. Yeah, you got neighbors who are going to fight neighbors. You got factions who are going to fight factions. Heck, races fight each other. But now we're all starting to turn around like, wait a minute, the government has been doing this for the longest time. It's the government who's doing this. You guys are perpetuating this. You guys are the one telling us lies. You guys are the one who are not protecting our children. It's you guys. We're busy fighting each other over territory, and you guys are the ones who are perpetuating this. Yeah, they're laughing at us. I spoke to people daily, and they exploit us daily. Good morning. How you doing, Ed? Ucation, Mr. Ucation. Thanks for the perspective. It's only one man's perspective, and I appreciate you guys too. Good morning. Yeah, good morning, Ed. Everybody say good morning to Ed, Mr. Education. How does looting and vandalism targeting AutoZone, liquor stores, etc., make valid protesting points? Well, Circle Jerk Corporation. It is a circle jerk, isn't it? Um, Well, we stated this earlier in the conversation, that it is a knee jerk reaction. Violence begets, you guys know the term, violence begets violence. So it's not that, oh, okay, let's go and just start looting when something violent happens, is the immediate response. But it is a response that is common when something violent happens. You know what I'm saying? It's not an answer. It's not a solution. This is a group of people who are angry and not thinking exactly rationally, and or who are saying we no longer fear being in trouble. The system has broken down, and this is how we're going to lash out in anger. It's not an excuse. It's not something that, you know, people condone just to, you got people who don't really care and who want to destroy, and then you got people who are just purely upset, and they're like, oh, okay, this place is already open. And you got, the COVID-19 effect, where you got people saying, okay, like I showed you a picture of this mom and daughter who are like, mom is in a onesie and sandals. I don't think she broke into Target and busted the windows. I just, with her little mom bun, I don't think she is the one who was throwing, bricks at the windows. But she saw it was open and was like, ah, you know what I'm saying? A little chipped ham. I can use some chipped ham right about now. Little chipped ham is on sale. I'm going to go in there and get about a year's worth. So her and her daughter went in there. So, it's not something that I condone. From Toronto, we love Florida. That's what's up. We need to fight these Yes, we do. We need to take it straight to the political parties. Yeah, don't lobby for us. They don't even protect us. We need to take it straight to them. When things happen to us, 100% Jade in Florida it's humid today. It's probably humid outside right now here in Ohio too, right? It's here, but cold front coming, gonna be freezing here soon. Global warming at its best. Uh, Bait trucks filling with Nikes. Yeah, yeah. Now that happened in Chicago. Raj Kane. That happened in Chicago. They had the bait trucks filled with the Nike shoes, and was waiting for, people to come along and take the truck. That's crazy. We need to stand against the government, and the people are going to stop. The feds aren't going to stop them. So guess who has to do it? Yep. No, the Fed. Listen, the system that is set up in order to help us is complete. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. All right, so I got some business to handle, you guys. I enjoyed this. I'm parched, but I got to go and handle some business with Tim. And thanks for the donations. I don't ever ask for donations. So, what I will do, if you guys want to talk again, I'll come on tonight. Um, I'll come back on tonight if you guys want to talk some more. If you guys have an update, what I can do is just, instead of going through a whole 3 hour diatribe, what I can do is just read a bunch of your comments. That way, the conversation can actually start with you instead of me. Am I close to the ocean? No. Uh, oh, okay, Sarasota. Yeah, so the conversation can start with you guys instead of me, and we can just, because there's a lot of great comments I'd like to go through here There's a lot of great people, even people who don't agree, but the majority of you do agree that it was blatant murder and the government needs to be reformed. And this is how. I mean, every we need a revolution, and we need it now. We don't need to sit down a year from now. We need it now. I'm at targeting an individual, and I can tell you that they are targeting all types of people. 100%, Miss Burns, Jennifer Burns. See, when like I said, when Jenny's upset, it's a wrap because statistically, this shouldn't even affect her, but she realizes that it's all the way across the board. Skin pigment humans are one. No. Uneducated people are out here looting. Educated people know better. Okay, I don't know. I wish we had a statistical analysis on that. Uh, Sick minorities, haters, giving news in time to divide us. I'd say depict the most probable scapegoat. Like I want to talk about all this, but I gotta go because somebody is. Yeah, I'm getting ready to do some business with somebody, and they are adamant. So, good day to you guys. If you guys want me to come back, I will come back later on, and we can all can continue this conversation because uh, I haven't even gotten to you know what? You guys are talking to each other. So I'm going to keep the live on and I'm going to go ahead and get dressed because you guys are actually talking to each other. But I have to get dressed. So who invaded Iran? America. We invaded Iran. And you guys can go ahead and keep talking. I'm going to keep the live going on. And yeah, but I have to talk to somebody online and I have to do some business. So you guys keep chatting it up. Unbelievable. Oh. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Guys are still chatting it up. Now, ours quit working. Oh. Oh, you're in Whitehall. You're unbelievable. Oh. Bum, 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 bum. You guys still chatting it up? That's what's up. Yeah, chat it up. Bring paintball contest to the riot, right? Yeah, the riots need to stop. Riots need to stop. We all agree on that. But the riots need to stop. Yeah, riots need to stop. Don't get me wrong, the cops need a chair and a little zap. But attacking random people's livelihoods isn't right. 100%. 100%. Oh, Black and Dominican. Okay. I was not first time, last time we ever met. I can feel it in my Hello, how you doing? I gotta go. I'll chat it up with you guys tonight, all right?